Hey there, NPCs. Welcome to Rules of Cool, where we interview very special guests, creators, gamers, designers, and world builders. I'm your host, Triz, and today we'll be chatting with the author of Magestone, David Burleyson. We have a fantastic giveaway of a signed copy of David's debut novel, Magestone. Type NPC in the chat for a free entry to win. The drawing will be done at the end of today's rebroadcast of Shadowrun Excommunication, Kick the Bucket, coming up right after Rules of Cool. You can also get bonus entries by donating bits or subscribing. In Alternis news, coming October 24th on Kickstarter, a thrilling sci-fi novel by Kevin J. Anderson and Jeffrey Morris. Earth's Last Hope. The Ark ship Odyssey heads to Proxima B, aka Persephone. On arrival, settlers face a failing radiation shield and a mysterious metal structure. Astronaut Darcy Clark and engineer Tanya Baxter race to save humanity and uncover the planet's mysteries. In the darkest reaches of space, the Hellslayers stand as humanity's last line of defense. Will you accept the challenge and fight against all odds and save us from extinction? Battle through horrific encounters, build your legend, and earn upgrades to unleash your badassery in the face of doom. Dramatic pause. The Kickstarter is live right now. Check out the link in chat. It'll be down there in just a second. And lastly, get ready for a double dose of gaming excitement. Introducing Parachute Panda and Fan Double from Catalyst Game Labs in this 2-game campaign on BackerKit launching early 2024. Get ready to roll the dice, deploy parachutes, and face off against dragons. Now, time to get right into the conversation for this week. Stay tuned, NPCs. Welcome back, everybody. And here we have David Burleson from Magestone fame. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me here. My Magestone is my debut novel. I've been working on it. It was a COVID baby. Started working on it at the beginning of 2020 and just came out earlier this year.
Fantastic. And this is, of course, book 1 in the series, right?
It is book 1, yes.
Of how many could you say?
Undecided thus far.
Got it. Well, as we always like to start the show off with, which of course may mean something different to you, what is your history as a gamer?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have a pretty similar history from the early on, with Battleship and Monopoly and Sorry as a kid. I didn't really continue tabletop gaming, through elementary or high school. It wasn't until I got a job at a local comic and game store that I really started getting in tabletop gaming and kind of rose through the ranks there. And I ran one of their locations as the manager for a number of years and made a lot of really cool connections with publishers, designers, and players. And it's really become my number one hobby now.
Fair. So you got right in on the pulse. I love it. Well, out of your experiences there, what was your favorite board game? Because I like making enemies. So Monopoly, if we're talking strictly board games, was of course an easy go-to to make people really angry.
Sure. Yeah, obviously when you're a kid, that's one of the go-tos. Nowadays, I don't really play too many of those type of games, but and favorite game's a little bit of a loaded question. It's hard to answer.
I know it's like picking your favorite child, but
I think that's a
everyone
little easy.
has one.
Yeah, I think one of my current favorites that we're playing a bunch of is Raiders of the North Sea. is one of our go-tos right now.
I know that I've heard about that, but I have had my finger off the pulse for a little while. What type of
Yeah,
game is that?
it's right here. It's a worker placement game, Vikings by Garfield Games and Renegade. It's a ton of fun.
All right, fantastic. And of course, I say I've had my finger off the pulse, but my finger has only been on the pulse of Shadowrun and BattleTech,
Sure.
which is so fun on this side. Well, other than that, uh, can you tell me about any other early experiences? Mainly ones that you've had with fantasy and sci-fi that kind of got you into writing.
Yeah, I think, Magestone's a middle grade book, and I think one of my draws to writing that kind of age group comes from my experience with that. Those are the most influential books that I can think of these to this day, are the books that I read in, elementary school, and um, things like City of Ember, and there was a Merlin series, the Guardians of Gahul series. Um, these books really kind of shaped who I am in a lot of ways, and really got me into being a book lover.
Absolutely fair. Yeah, as we were talking a little bit before, I a lot of the time I just don't have the focus for all of that,
Yeah,
which is surprising because there is a lot of multitasking in everyday life, but it just I feel like with the books that I like reading, it would really take up too much of my bandwidth.
sure. Yeah, and I fell out of books when I went into high school and didn't really read much, other than the occasional comics here and there. But yeah, again, it wasn't really until after high school, after leaving college, and getting my job at the game store and the comic shop that I started picking up reading pretty heavily again.
Fair, fair. I guess if you are surrounded by it, I
Yeah, it's hard not to.
no, absolutely. Well, if that shaped it, then how would you describe your writing style?
Yeah, it's I think it's very different than the books I like to read. I read a lot of really big epic fantasies or really crunchy kind of sci-fi books. But I write uh, tends to be a bit faster paced, rather than every detail and um, kind of slogging through long books, which I love to do myself. When it comes to my writing, I think it's a bit more quicker pace, which lends itself to middle grade a bit more. However, my first published piece was a short story in a dark fantasy magazine years ago, so it was very different than middle grade. So I do kind of like both ends of the spectrum there.
Which I saw that word a little bit, and you bring it up. What exactly does middle grade mean in a fantasy setting?
Yeah, so middle grade is, I guess, targeted for ages 8 to 12 plus. Um, so it's in between the kind of children's and the young adult.
Fair enough. I had also seen that you had done some work for an older demographic as well. Uh, whenever you were first publishing,
Yep.
is there anything you can tell me about that, like the differences between those?
Yeah, so my first item that I sold was a short story called Blight. It was in the Common Tongue. It's a dark fantasy and horror magazine.
Ooh,
So it was a dark fantasy short story, and yeah, there's very different. It's a lot less whimsy and a bit more imagery and sometimes grotesqueness. Although there's definitely spots for themes like that in middle grade, just like there are spots for themes of like real world problems. In Magestone, there is a kind of a creepy scene near the end of the book that I won't spoil, but it does lend
come
some of
on.
my background with the thriller and the horror.
Fair, fair. Still keeping it relatively, or did you just happen to sneak it in there?
I think it walks the line pretty well.
All right, all right. You
The
know,
goal is to scare kids here, not everybody.
no. That's fair. I'm a big fan of walking that line. Here over on Emerald Glitch, we have the rule: only one curse word per stream, and once somebody uses it, it's gone. That's all you got. You got to try to be we end up swapping turns, like one night it's one person's turn with the
Yeah.
curse word, you know. Well, if you know, don't feel locked in by not being able to go to your darker roots, do you?
No, that's one thing that I was very, cognizant about is I didn't want to be typecast into middle grade. So I am working on other fantasy and sci-fi stories as well that aren't really aimed at that younger audience.
Mhm.
Um, but I will say, once you start writing middle grade, it's hard to not write middle grade. It's very fun to write.
So I just saw the chat. He writes to my IQ. I love that. Uh, well, is there any author in particular that you took inspiration from? Whether
Maybe
that
not.
mean your darker stuff or your more middle grade.
Yeah, I grew up reading like the Star Wars novels were some of my big ones when I started getting out of the kind of younger books. I think I mentioned it earlier. City of Ember was one of my favorites as a kid,
Oh,
and the Guardians of Ga'Hoole series, and Lemony Snicket, all that fun stuff. Nowadays, I read a lot of Brandon Sanderson. I'm working my way through the Wheel of Time series, so I like the big epics now.
don't tell us that you're going mainstream now.
Uh, no, well, I did start Brandon. Well, he doesn't have shows and stuff yet, so technically that's not mainstream, I guess.
Oh
But
no,
I
that's
do read a lot of middle grade as well. I still really enjoy it. The whimsy, the lightheartedness, the approach to real world, problems is a breath of fresh air sometimes. So I really enjoy reading middle grade still.
fair enough. Fair enough. Plus, I do find a lot of the time that nowadays, whenever people choose to get a little bit darker, sometimes they do go a little bit head deep with it, and
Sure.
with a lot of those lighter, like I said, more whimsical stories, I feel like the story itself can actually shine through a lot better.
Yeah, I agree.
And I definitely understand being realistic with it, but not everyone is an orphan. Not everyone, you know,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, can you tell us a little bit about your writing process? I did look back through uh, some of your social medias. Professional stalker. Don't worry, I get paid for it. Uh, and saw some of the process on then Twitter, now X. Kind
Yeah.
of the timeline of you putting all of this together. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think I don't really know if I've nailed down my process yet. I think it's ever changing. Um, I am, I guess, if oftentimes in writing you hear of like plotters and pantsers, people who like to plot out every detail of their book, or people who fly by the seat of their pants. If realistically, most people are somewhere in between.
Mhm.
I definitely kind of move toward the pantser. I like to discover characters in the story as I'm going. Um, but I guess once I get to a certain point in a discovery draft, which I usually call draft zero,
Mhm.
um, then I move on, start a fresh new draft that is a bit more planned with what I know of the world. So definitely a true hybrid there.
No, absolutely fair. I personally am. I can definitely relate on that. I'm certainly by no means an author of any sort, but anytime I'm writing anything for anything D&D related or anything
Yeah,
like that, I hate rough drafts. I will stay away from those like they're the plague. If I'm
yeah, and I'm
writing,
a
it's the final.
and I'm a lean drafter. So oftentimes people have to cut 10%, cut 10%, cut 10% on each of their drafts because it's too big, too much. But I'm a lean drafter. I have to add more every time I go through because the first draft is really about getting the core elements down um,
Mhm.
and kind of expanding on there. I am trying to be a bit more of a plotter for book two. because there's a little bit less discovery that needs to happen. Um, but I'll still won't I will never get in the way of my characters, of what's happening to them. So if something is just organically happening, I won't mess with that.
No, absolutely. I feel like, of course, I'm speaking more to movies right now, just
Yeah,
because, of course, audiobook is, although I do love fantasy so much, but it does feel like a lot of media is a little bit too played out, and
sure. Yeah,
it just it's the same story over and over
reskinned.
because exactly
Yeah,
because they're not letting any character feel anything.
right. I think it's the danger of taking a template or taking kind of a guide too strict to heart. They're great to build off of, but kind of don't let it get in the way of your own creativity.
No, absolutely. A lot of people don't take the hero's journey for what it is. I don't know if that's something that all writers use, or I could be just pulling stuff right out of my butt.
It's
But
certainly that is certainly a story structure for fantasy that's popular. It's definitely more popular in kind of the classic fantasy, like the Yellow Time books, for example. Um, but yeah, that's definitely a popular one.
fair. Well, kind of onto the book of the hour. Can you give us a little teaser, a little summary for Magestone?
Yeah, so it's a fantasy book in a fantasy setting. It really follows a kid who just wants more out of the cards he was dealt, and he kind of takes it upon himself and goes on this epic journey to go seize his potential and see what the world really is outside of his small town. And with it comes making new friends and enemies and dangers of the world that he didn't even know existed. Um, and I think the best part about the book is you get to discover the world through our main character Grayson, because he's from this small town. He There's much of the history of the country that he doesn't know, and of the lore and of the magic system that he doesn't know, and we get to discover it with him.
Absolutely
And
fair.
if you like creepy elves, there's also some creepy elves.
So, and this is all public. I haven't read through the book, so
Yeah,
I don't want to spoil anything. Are those creepy elves the towards the end? I remember something about a school project or something that involves like them fighting against what was it?
you're in the right realm. There are definitely some creepy elves near the end, and if you pick up the book, I have a copy right here. There's one of the creepy elves drawn kind of cutesy on the back, but they're much more creepy and dangerous in the world.
No, absolutely fair. I oh, God, I just love that type of fantasy so much. And what was it that he was trying to be? It was realm something?
A realm knight, yeah. So
Realm knight.
he wants to be a knight. He grew up as a blacksmith apprentice with his father. I actually have a awesome piece of fan art. I came back from vacation this year to a
I
piece of
think I
fan
saw
art from
that.
somebody. Yeah, and so this depicts Grayson and his dad in their forge in their small town. So I think this is amazing. I'm going to get it framed and put it up. But yeah, he's a wonderful kid, but he wants to be a realm knight and have a bit more prestige and glory.
No, absolutely fair. Get away from the sweaty forge.
Yes, it's very sweaty.
Well, fair. Well, and we do know that this is, of course, your debut novel, and you may be taking yourself a very well-deserved break. But what is next for you as an author? And don't be sassy and say book two.
I won't be sassy. I won't be sassy. There are a number of projects on the works, including sequel two of Magestone, of the Gemfall series. Um, Most notably, coming up soon will be kind of an announcement on another middle grade book, a bit more mystery element in this one. Um, and of course, I got some fantasy in the works for for non-middle grade as well for adults.
Mhm. Do you have a name maybe for the mystery?
Not a full name, but the main character, her name is Penelope Rook.
I immediately just as a chess nerd, immediately 1,000 things came to mind. So
Yeah, so this one's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be dealing with a murder mystery, which you don't always get in middle grade, and it's going to maybe even deal with some ancient Roman mystery cults. We'll see.
fair, fair. Well, also I was going to ask about how long from let's say just concept to conception did Mage Stone take?
From initial words on page to the release date was almost exactly 3 years. I hope it'll never take me that long again, but it was my first.
Well, based on a lot of the reviews that I'm seeing, that may just have to be the process. Let's just throw everybody back into pandemic mode so that you can put out book 2,
Right.
and
As
we'll
long
see
as
where
it's
this
just
takes.
mode and not a real pandemic.
No. This one I'm making up right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and get everybody locked in, locked down. But
Perfect.
this one's just for fun, just for those who need it. I'm sure
Awesome.
that
I definitely need it. I'll get right on that.
I definitely got a little bit too used to it. I just didn't do anything productive with that time like you did.
I didn't know it was going to be productive at the time. I was just kind of making myself do something that wouldn't drive me crazy.
Understandable. Being productive would have driven me crazy.
I get
But
that.
well, unless there is anything in particular that you'd like to plug, then I only got one more question left for you, and that is, where can we find you?
Yeah, well, if you're in St. Louis, you can find me at a local Barnes and Noble in just a couple of weeks doing a signing there. If you're not in St. Louis, you can find me on Facebook and Twitter, X, and Instagram. The handle is David Makes Words
David
and
does
Goodreads.
make words.
David does make words.
David makes whole sentences sometimes.
Sometimes, not often, but sometimes.
Well, it was fantastic talking with you, and thank you for all of your energy and everything that you give back to the community.
Anytime. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Don't forget that we have a wonderful giveaway of a signed copy of Magestone. Thank you so much to David for donating such an awesome prize. Type RIMPC in the chat for your free entry to win, and don't forget about bonus entries. All funds help pay our cast and crew and keep us producing content. You can also pick up t-shirts and merch at our Etsy store at www.rimalternis.com/Etsy. And thank you all for joining. Now on to our rebroadcast of Shadowrun Excommunication. Kick the bucket. See you there, NPCs.
Can I just ask, what does a summoning tea kettle look like?
Oh, a summoning tea kettle. It is made out of cast iron that has been painted ritually with symbols in blood, obviously, that are then coated and shellacked over so that they don't flake off, that way it can last for centuries. And we use a nice clear coat, though, so you can see them quite nice, quite clear. We mix in, with the blood, we mix in the iridescent paint, so it gives us a nice little beautiful shimmer, especially as it heats up. And as you heat it up, that's where the magic happens, because that is when all of the symbols start to glow and get bright and beautiful. And as the tea kettle whistles, that is the summoning ritual complete.
If you have an interest in using the summoning tea kettle, or taking part in any of the other worlds in our games, you don't have to have experience. Just join our Discord, and the GMs will work with you and help you find a game you enjoy. The link is in the chat.
Ready to level up your cosplay game? Check out the Geek Forge on Etsy. With a variety of props to give your photos that extra spark, you'll find just what you need. Hold magical fire in the palm of your hand, or take a potion to restore your mana. With a large variety of colors, you can choose your own magical flavor for your cosplay. Bring drama to your photo shoots with these vibrant props and more, all available at the Geek Forge. Are you ready to level up your cosplay?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of Shadowrun Excommunication. It is our little tromp through the sixth world. And what did we say that was?
Trauma bond romp.
It was a trauma bond romp.
Yes.
And we did lots of trauma bonding last episode. Hope you enjoyed it. For this series, we are leaning pretty heavily onto the mechanics of anarchy. Shadowrun Anarchy is an alternate rule set by Catalyst Game Labs for the Shadowrun system. It is kind of a more of a beginner-friendly, starter-friendly sort of system, so we wanted to use that as our first time playing through Shadowrun. But we've also injected a bunch of Sixth World. Sixth World is obviously the core rulebook for 6th edition, and we are using this. We are giving one of these away today. So if you would like a version of or a copy of Shadowrun 6th World, you can put Excommunication into the chat. I like complicating things that way. It's EXCOMMUNICATION into the chat, all one word, and you will be entered to win. If you do it more than once, you will be disqualified. So don't do that. The Pledge Manager for Shadowrun Takedown, which is the board game that they kickstarted, that went very, very well, very successful, should be in the Pledge Manager now. That should be live. If it's not, it will be. But timey-wimey, check it out, because it is your last opportunity kind of to get Takedown before. I'm assuming it goes to retail at some point, but it is your last time to get it early access to it. Also, make sure that you check out the after show on the Catalyst YouTube channel. That will be airing right after this, and it's the deep dive into mechanics and the story and some of the things behind the scenes or behind the screen of what we're doing here. Anjali liked that one.
Sorry.
It was all good. I like
It's
it.
involuntary.
I like it. Thank you. I feel good. It makes me feel
myself.
good. If you like what you see today, consider subscribing and liking and sharing and all that awesome stuff. Without further ado, for the 4th time this season, let us venture into the shadows. Pew, pew. All right, welcome back, everyone. We left off last episode with something else, especially where we kind of ended. For the majority of the episode, you all were after Torin Skelly. Torin being the fixer that set you up on the, not set you up, but set you on your path on your first Shadowrun as a group together. And that obviously all started at the San Diego Comic-Con one-shot, which should be live. You can maybe check it out on our YouTube channel. But you will be able to at some point. Either way, he set you on your path. He gave you everything you needed, information-wise. That didn't go so well. It ended up being a bit of a screw job. It ended up being a bit of a setup. You wanted some information from him regarding what happened, only to learn that he was actually hiding out in the sewers of Seattle and had kind of holed up in a safe house that was kind of buried or camouflaged behind a ghoul community run by a vampire. Let's just say things didn't quite go as you planned it to. They started off stealthy and they ended up with crunchy salsa. Or chunky salsa, not crunchy salsa, chunky salsa. And watch the last episode if you haven't for that reference. And you ended up finding out that Torin actually had a hit put on his head, that there's an APB out by the Lone Star for him, and that he is kind of in the same place you are, where he feels like he got screwed by the folks that he spoke to. But he did set you on a path towards a Mr. Johnson named the Wizard. This wizard being an eccentric kind of individual who only meets people, for the sake of anonymity, within the Matrix, virtually in a simulation of some sort. He told you that it is the front for that experience is located at the Escapist Den, which is managed by one of Trigger's contacts, Earl. And the Escapist Center is a place where people go when they want to escape the realities of the Sixth World in a variety of different ways, some of which you may discover in the next little while, and that should be fun. But anyways, that is where you currently find yourselves. You ended up going back to the safe house to kind of lick your wounds. There were some moments, some very touching, incredible roleplay moments. And then Frayne had a little bit of a dream sequence, which was deep and effective.
How was that ballet for you?
It was lovely.
The dream ballet.
The dream ballet.
It was.
You all
wake.
wake.
Ever wanted.
You all start to stir. There is food to be had, obviously all made of soy, and maybe a couple drinks, some early morning.
Soy bucks.
No, I was gonna say the other kind of drinks, maybe, just from kind of recovering from the evening before. As you all start to rise and muster, what do you all do?
First thing I do as I start to wake up is I leave Outlaw a message as he has asked me to do. Hey, big man, I know that you're probably on a run, but I had another one of those dreams, and I felt like I was floating in water. I felt like maybe it's a clue to something from my past. Maybe I was on the ship. Maybe I fell overboard, and that's why I don't remember so much from that time before. But also, I got to say, that group that you set me up with, they're quite a bunch. Everyone is a little broken, physically, mentally, emotionally, but there's something more to them. They're not as bad as you led me to think this world is filled with. Hope you're doing good on your run. See you soon. Thank you for always looking out for me.
I think Trigger has been up much earlier than most of the gang, if any, unless there's other people who haven't really slept. And she's been just like, not doom scrolling, but basically just like her version of like, I just want to fill my brain with information. I need to fill my brain with input. So she's been trying to find out anything that she can. She's been trying to the easiest form of hacking that she can do without having to really do stuff. She's been trying to keep an eye on like who's going in and out of the escapist, like trying to prepare herself for this day, because she felt so taken advantage of and so completely underprepared yet for what happened yesterday.
Sure.
So her main way of preparation is information.
Sure.
So she's been.
Yeah. We'll say that you were able to. It appears that nobody knows your exact location. There hasn't been any sort of call out made officially by law enforcement or even in the Shadowrun community. You can tell as to where your location is, and so as far as everybody else is concerned, you're still in the wind. And as well as Torin, he's still being sought after and searched for.
Also, there is if anyone were to watch her, she just looks harder. A little bit less just more determined and a little bit less vulnerable today.
Okay. All right.
You see that Liv has been has set up this thing where she's like stacked a couple of books on two ends, and she's like has a foot on each one, like doing a split to just try to like really stretch out. She's like, God damn, fuck. Just grumbling, swearing to herself as she's stretching out and feeling like utter shit.
Yeah.
Blaze is kind of just laying on the ground, hands behind his head. He's got his glasses on even when he's sleeping. So he's actually, because it's where his VR stuff is at. So he's actually looking through and not doing the same thing of doom scrolling or looking up. He's just watching the news, just looking around, just enjoying himself on the floor there.
Yeah.
With his duster on.
Occasionally you see a scowl over towards you, just scowling back to back.
I probably didn't get much sleep last night, but I think I'm just lighting up my cigar for the day. Going over yesterday's events, seeing if I can figure out if we did everything the right way, if we could have done more or less. Really glad I didn't grab a child.
Really glad you didn't do.
I'll come out of the room, just kind of briefly check in with everybody. Help yourselves. Everything that's in the fridge is up for grabs, and I'll open the fridge, and in there is like a bunch of like quarts of liquid meals, and on it says soy, but SO-Y, soy real,
Yeah.
and it's like breakfast in liquid form, like pancakes, bacon,
Hate it.
eggs,
Yeah.
blended.
Can we trademark that now?
Yeah.
So, oi.
So,
I'm gonna grab some, pass them around. I often forget to eat, and Outlaws always got to remind me that I got to keep my actual meat self healthy.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna work on my vehicle. I'm gonna go add the grenades to 5 of them to my drone and 5 of them to my vehicle. Make sure that
Nice.
they're rigged up.
okay. And how would you like those rigged? So you do have a grenade launcher in your
On the mount that's on the that I carry. So I have a gun that I can use myself, and
Yeah.
it has a grenade launcher attachment. But
Yeah.
so far, it's been on my vehicle. I haven't
Yeah.
had it on my person.
Sure.
So on that one, I could just pump some smoke grenades.
Yeah.
And I'll see if I can, rig a way to switch back and forth actual grenades and smoke grenades.
Sure.
But I do want to see if I can pump some, like rig some on the drone as well.
On the drone. Okay.
Yeah, so I could just drop them.
We can quickly let me just quickly retcon. Or we can quickly retcon if you need a grenade launcher for the drone. We can see what that is if you want real quick.
Sure.
Because a launcher would be the way to launch it.
To launch it. I'm fine with it, even if it just kind of drops it, whilst it's hovering.
Yeah.
Whilst it's hovering.
Yeah, absolutely. Weapon accept launchers. Here we go. They're not cheap. The cheapest is $1,800
Done.
for the Armtech MGL6.
What else am I spending my money for?
Right?
1,800.
New yen.
Got it.
Not too
Done.
bad.
So now I'm just.
And so
attaching.
now you're attaching it, you're mounting it, you got your tools out, and you're doing your
Yep.
thing.
I'm ready to rock and roll when you all
No
are.
idea how much I
Awesome.
spent.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Take off.
All right. While you're actually doing that, you've got your tools out, and you're kind of in your element. Your comlink begins to ring.
Mine.
Yes. And on the interface, you see that it is in fact Outlaw.
I just immediately stop what I'm doing.
Do any of he's out in his, so none of us.
Well, you guys are. So it's up to you. If you want to, if you do you have your drone out in the safe house and you're kind of fixing it, or are you out in your vehicle?
I'll be inside.
Okay. So
You know
everybody's
what?
kind of
I'm
around
out
when
in the
it rings.
vehicle.
Yeah.
As soon as I see he's calling, I'm gonna come back in.
Okay. You're gonna come back in before you answer it.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you come back in, you click accept, and you hear his voice on the other side. He's like, "Hello.
Hey, big man.
Hey,
We're all here in the safe house.
Yeah. All right. Everybody's there together.
Everybody's here.
All right.
Hold on, I think I forgot something out in the vehicle. Picking up completely that he wants to have a
Yeah.
private conversation with me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go right back outside, and I
Okay.
make eye contact with everybody there,
Yeah.
and just kind of hand wave.
Sure.
So you all know that I know what is happening.
Sure. Okay.
What's up?
All right.
Can I
Yeah.
go into a corner and hack into his comm?
Sorry. Can you what?
Can I go into a corner and hack into his comm?
You can absolutely try. Sure.
That's
Give me-
way smarter than the Scooby Doo thing I was thinking of us
Give
doing.
me a
Barry Gibbs do call the mystery machine.
hacking test, please. And exploit would be what you want to use if you want to use one of your programs.
Fuck. Was that five or was that?
1,
That
2,
was
3, 4,
that
5,
was
6.
this.
Yes.
That was this. Okay, and then we have these. There we go.
It's going right there.
Great. And then I also have one more, which makes it.
Nice.
And then I also have two. Wait. Yes. Reroll 2.
Damn.
1,
Whoa.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No problem. Like right away. And now you have access. Are you listening to this in your ear, or are you projecting it to everyone else?
In my ear.
Okay, all right. He says, are you alone?
Say that again.
Are you alone?
Well, you know that I'm not alone, but I have stepped away.
Yeah, well, all right.
But they know that we're having a private conversation right now.
Well, that's good. I mean, everything you said, it kind of tracks. What do you want to cover first? I don't have a lot of time, but I always take time for you.
What's the history with you and Trigger?
Well, we did a job together, and it was a research facility, and I was part of the team that went in, and Trigger was off-site, hacking and doing the thing. And Drek went bad and fracked it all up. And I don't think it was Trigger's fault or anything like that. I think she blames herself a little bit, but I was the only surviving operative to get out of there. But I didn't even see her after that. After things went bad, we ditched, and that was it.
So this recent encounter was the first time you saw each other since then?
Yeah.
Seems like you're handling that a lot better than she is.
Well, I don't necessarily hold any ill will. Things went bad, and that was the extent of it.
And she thinks it's her fault.
I don't know, but I get the sense that she has some ill will or some concern about how things went. Maybe it's survivor's guilt, I don't know.
Which you don't have.
Man, if I had survivor's guilt at this time, I'd be unable to do anything, including get out of bed, so.
You've survived enough, you'd have a lot of guilt.
No, I just bury that, Drek.
Whatever's going on with us, I think that she was the target. And I have a feeling that maybe the rest of us will maybe collateral damage. We were definitely set up. And the setup, I think, was meant for her to be the one to hack into the system that we were tasked with. And she's on edge because of what she saw. I don't know if you can help from in the middle of the run that you're doing, but if you just keep your eyes peeled and you just listen.
Sure. I mean, the whole thing's unfortunate. I was supposed to be on that run. You were my replacement. Actually, we were supposed to be together. They asked for both of us, actually. But I couldn't do it, so I'm glad. I mean, I would have got stuck in it with you.
I'm glad you're not. I'm glad that you're on the outside. No, man. I need you on the outside.
All right.
I need you looking out for me on the outside. As much as I resent it.
You know I always do.
I know. Thank you.
And even when I'm not there.
Anything you want me to go back in and tell the group?
I mean, I think if you can reassure Trigger that I don't hold any ill will towards her and all, if that's what she feels. I don't know if that's what she feels, but I don't. Again, jobs go bad, runs go bad.
I got one last thing.
Sure.
I heard a voice in my dream call me number 3.
Huh. What does that mean to you? Anything?
I don't know.
I mean, as far as you know how we met. You didn't remember much of anything.
I still don't.
And then, I kind of helped you get on your feet and stuff, but I saw something in you that was possible, but maybe it's something from before that. I don't know.
There's something else too. This guy Rio that's with us.
Yeah.
The guy's like 100 years old.
Wow.
He's like been doing these modifications to himself to keep him alive, and I think he's on some kind of revenge thing.
He's a human?
I mean, I guess if you can call him that at this point.
He's more machine maybe than man.
Maybe.
Well, I've heard of that. It doesn't happen a lot, but I've heard of, age being elongated and extended due to implants and
Liv, the other one.
Yeah.
I think she's definitely got some family stuff going on. I think her family abandoned her or I disowned her.
Yeah.
You guys just see me like having a conversation with myself in the room. If you
Yeah.
want, if you see me in the corner, just being
Yeah.
like, this motherfucker.
Well,
The other one I don't know much about.
Yeah.
He likes fire. That's it.
well, I've heard of him. I mean, as far as Liv goes, I mean, we all have a little bit of damage. We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't. I don't know much about her. As far as the other one, Blaze, right? I've heard of him. He's got a little bit of a what's the word? Reputation for blowing things up, sometimes prematurely.
Oh.
He's a little volatile sometimes, I think. Quick on the trigger. But at the same time, that's valuable at times if you can harness it.
You think I should trust these people?
I mean, in this line of business, you trust you got.
I
Until
trust
don't.
you.
Yeah, well,
That's it.
I appreciate that. I mean, that's up to you. You have something in you that I saw early on that, well, frankly, not much of us do.
All
Just-
right.
Trust your gut
Okay.
on
all right.
this. They're obviously capable. I saw
They're
with
very
my own
capable.
eyes. I saw what they could do,
They're very good at what they do.
and I think you're safer with them than without them.
I know I am.
Then play it safe and keep an eye out. Watch your back. But keep me posted. I'm worried about you.
I know.
I haven't heard you like this in a while.
I'm okay.
All right.
As long as I got you, I'm okay.
All right.
I'll keep you updated.
Thanks. You take
Thank
care
you.
now.
I will.
All right.
Hey, you too. You're on the run, so don't
Yeah.
get yourself killed. And I'm eating.
Fair enough. Well, good. That's important. Finish those eggs. They're going to go bad. And they're hard to come by. Those things are like 100 new yen each.
I'm going back in. I've been
All
out here
right.
too long.
Fair enough.
And I hang up.
Okay.
And 20 seconds later,
And I walk over to Trigger with a glass as I crack 2 eggs and put the yolk in there. We good?
Who us? Yeah.
No, I mean the kid. He good?
The kid.
I know you were listening, right?
I don't know. For Mr. I don't know.
All right.
Blaze still on the floor, literally with his hand behind his back. He's like, he just says out loud, "Anyone else find it strange that they ain't talking about us on the news?"
It's a very
found
good
nothing.
point.
Nothing at all.
Not Pete.
Wow.
Why do you think that is? Are they covering something up, or maybe were the people who were taken out, or maybe were they not found by?
Maybe they want us alive. They want to cover their tracks.
Yeah, we made an awful lot of noise yesterday, though. We should be on the news. You're right.
You would think for the bounty that's on each of our heads.
Yeah.
Just as you say that, there's a newscast that comes up about a big shootout outside a Horizon apartment.
Oh.
Multiple law enforcement Lone Star officers killed in the
never
line
mind.
of duty.
There it is.
Well, shit.
Have you come back in yet?
I'm back in, yeah.
Oh, okay. When he comes back in, I'm just in the corner eyeing him. Like, "Sup, Mr. No Secrets? What was that about?
Well, I'm an open book. What do you want to know?
What Outlaw have to say?"
Just wanted to check on me, make sure I was okay. I check in with them often to give them updates on what's going on with me.
You always have to check in with them in secret.
I didn't need to. I came in here. He wanted to have a moment with me because I think he feels like I will be more open with him if I'm not in company that I don't know quite well.
Right. So just updates on you then.
That's all pretty much, and who I'm rolling with. He's the reason why I'm around you. I have no secrets from him. Everything you do in front of me, I'm going to report back to him. That's what he wants me to do.
Right.
Unless you tell
There
me
it is.
otherwise.
Right, let's
and
get
give me
something
good reason.
right. Let's get something straight right now. You're so worried about other people keeping secrets from you. You're so worried about other people not telling you every little bit of their own personal business. But you don't get to go tell other people's personal business to everyone else. You understand? Everyone, this man, that woman, that man, every single person, me. All of us are entitled to have our own private lives. And when someone opens up to you in a moment of vulnerability, you don't get to go off and tell people
I
all
can do
about
whatever the fuck I want.
Oh, can you?
Yes, I can. You're in my place right now. Are you trying to tell me that whatever the fuck you say in here in front of me, you're gonna try to make me withhold it from the one person that I trust?
I'm fucking out of here. Fuck you.
Get the fuck out of here.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
Out the door.
Hold on.
I'm out the door.
I just call out as you're leaving. Keep your broken ass out of here then if you're gonna be like that. Nobody talks to me that way. And nobody talks about Outlaw in that way.
I follow Trigger out.
What the fuck was that about? What the fuck was that about?
Hey,
Why is she coming at me like that?
she's hurt.
Isn't everybody hurt? Does that give her a right to use me as her punching bag?
No, but you
If she
didn't
got
have-
something to say, then she could talk to me about it in a completely different way. I have not ever been disrespectful. And moment that I snapped, I immediately apologized for it.
You're right.
If people have something to say to me, then just say it. I will be upfront and I will be honest. The one person that I trust, the one person that treats me with any kind of respect and dignity is Outlaw, the man that's letting us use this place as our safe house because they're fucking hunting us.
How long you been running with him?
Years.
How
I've been
many?
with them. 10?
Before
8?
that?
I don't remember before that.
You don't remember before that?
I don't. I was in an accident and I don't remember anything from about 8 to 10 years ago before that. I woke up in a hospital, like an institution. I was being rehabilitated. I don't remember anything. And after some time there, an Outlaw was there. He was working with the people in the facility. He was put in charge of me. He just took me under his wing.
He was
Anything that I
there
have.
when you came to? When you came to, he was there.
I don't know if he was there the moment I came to, but from what I understand, he'd been checking on me before I did.
He was supposed to be on this job.
Yeah, we were supposed to be on this job together.
They asked for him. They asked for you.
Well, they asked for him, and then he, like he typically does, he has me as his +1 so I can make contacts and, continue learning the ropes.
I think whatever we got to do together from here on out. We can't have bad blood.
I didn't come here with the intention of bad blood, but I don't like people coming at me for no reason.
She has a point. You realize that, right?
What's the fucking point?
That the context matters.
Yeah.
He's still just down there on the floor. Think about the trigger. You just said a couple while ago that, her head was just screwed with. And whether or not that's part of it or not, all we know is that she's screwed up from the last job that we just botched that we're paying for right now. Imagine that all of her, and as she said, all of hers feels like her secrets are laid bare. I don't know if I wouldn't do the same thing in her position too.
We all have lines. This is a bit of an unnatural situation.
You're telling me that I shouldn't trust the guy who's letting us use his safe house as our home base?
Didn't say that at all.
I am. I'm not saying you shouldn't trust him. I'm saying you shouldn't trust anybody, not fully. He was supposed to be on that job. He wasn't. Now he's gone. It's a possibility.
I don't like that.
You don't have to like it. Doesn't make it not true.
I will consider what you're saying. And I will acknowledge, I guess, the privacy that Trigger was asking for. But when you're all speaking so fucking freely to each other, family that you just met on the day, I'm sorry if I didn't realize that what you were so freely sharing should not have been shared to the person who's letting us stay here.
Well, I don't think you did anything wrong particularly, but she does.
Well, little late for that. She's fucking gone. What are we doing?
Okay, let's go back out to that side.
Hey. What was that about? What'd you overhear?
These motherfuckers. Telling everyone's life stories. All of them. Yours, mine, Rios. Blaze had said anything, he probably would have told him everything about him too. It's not his business. You opened up in a moment of vulnerability. Rio didn't even want to share that shit until he said no secrets, and now he's running around telling everybody our secrets, our personal lives. Look, I shouldn't care. I shouldn't care. I understand that.
I don't disagree with you. First, so let me just, you don't have to come at me with that energy because I don't disagree with you, okay? I get it. And you have every right to feel that way. It is weird, right? We all said something that in that moment felt, we all had something we could share with each other. And after he said something like, oh, no secrets, all of a sudden there's secrets, and I get it. At the same time though, we are staying in his place. And for whatever reason, good or bad, we are all we have right now. So, was there something? Did you overhear something? Specifically that made you mad, or is it just the situation? What is it exactly? I'm just trying to understand.
Above table, did I know before that call that he was supposed to be on that job with us?
He said that.
No. No, I just don't like it.
I think we're all in a very shit situation right now that none of us want.
And you're in it because of me. So,
we're in it. We all took a job. We all did it for the money. We all agreed to a price. We all were there in a room and said yes. At any time, one of us could have been like, nope, I'm out. But we all got offered a job and each of us said yes.
You still send money back to your family?
I don't have them in my life anymore. As soon as I wasn't useful, and as soon as I couldn't bring money in, then I was just an extra mouth to feed and I was on my own.
That's shit.
Yeah. I tried to contact them at some point, after I started missing them, and they up and left. I don't know where they are. So even if I did want to get a hold of them, I don't even know where to start. And it's shit when everybody has hope in you and you let them down. I get it. If there's something on your job that you're supposed to do, and you please understand that everybody does what they can. And it took me a long time to figure out that the one time you don't succeed doesn't make you a total failure. Because sometimes the people that you want to believe in you, maybe they don't, but somewhere there's somebody who does. And you got that with me, I promise you.
I've got your back the best I can. We'll see how good my best is. Suppose I have to go in and apologize to that shit.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, it was still shady, but we are kept safe here, and I don't think he had any bad intentions.
Right, better get this over with then. I'm gonna go back inside.
Okay. You watch as they enter.
I say nothing. I just look at Rio.
Right. So we off to the escapists then?
Looks like it.
No, we're going fuck where. We're not going anywhere. Not yet. We just met each other, I know that. This is an unfathomable situation we find ourselves in. But there are people trying to kill us. All of us. It's nobody's fault. We all said yes to a job. We all said yes to money. Yes, Outlaw is letting us use his space. How gracious. He also was supposed to be on this job and is not. Therefore, they are not hunting him. He is not on a list to be killed, hunted, murdered. We are. All of us are grateful. But we all are entitled to our own secrets and sharing them in our own time. If you were going to share, maybe you should have asked. And you take your foot off the gas a little bit.
Why you think my name is Trigger?
Yeah, I get it. Can't change someone in a day. They've been living a lifetime, but baby steps, right? Now, I don't mean to be, and I think maybe a little bit of a smile actually creeps onto his face for just a second, but I don't want to be the dad here. It's not my job, but apologize to each other. For our sake, for all of us.
Right. Frayne.
Trigger. Are we really gonna let him talk to us like this?
Working with fucking children.
Hey,
Well, he
no,
just
no,
slides the
but
lighter
seriously,
across the floor.
I'm sorry for taking it to 11. Probably could have taken it to a 6, a 7. I know you don't trust people. I don't either. Not easily. If you would do us the honor of letting us know if you're going to share personal things about us, that's cool. But just let us know ahead of time.
I get what you're saying. To be honest, I didn't even know that I was sharing stuff that was so private. It was shared so freely, and I'm just... Outlaw looks out for me, and I tell him everything I see because he helps me see it more clearly. But he's not here, you're right. And you're more like the grandpa than the daddy, by the way. I
You
want to
watch your
remind you,
mouth
you're
there,
over
son.
100 years old, which is crazy.
I look great for my age.
You do. Minus the stuff you're coughing, but
Right, so we go.
I'm good. And I'd like to see if that was 11. I'm dying to see what 12 is. Just not at me.
You might die if you see what 12 is.
I mean, just out of my direction. I just want to know. I already know that it's in there.
Yeah, 11's not that high. I go pretty high.
I think there's one more elephant in this room here. Oh, I don't even want to say this, son, but I think your problem with secrets is that your whole life is one. To you. I mean, you don't know what's happened to you before you met Outlaw.
Wait,
he
what?
is your whole world.
Explain. Sorry?
Well,
Did I miss
not
something?
my secret to tell.
I've known Outlaw for, I guess, give or take 10 years. I don't remember my life before that. I was in some kind of an accident. I don't remember anything. I was in an institution. They rehabilitated me. He was there watching over me, took me under his wing, and essentially that's why I owe him so much.
Can I ask you one question, though? Because this is really weird. Did he fill in those gaps for you of what happened to you? Like, how did you know that you were in an institution? Is it because other
woke up
people
in
have
one.
told you? Or is this all that he has told you?
No, I woke up in one.
Okay.
I woke up in one, and there was a doctor. I was being rehabilitated, but he was I don't know. I think maybe he's close to someone from my past. He has not told me that history, but he's been looking out for me.
What do you mean he hasn't told you that history? You've been with this man for 10 years. He hasn't told you what the fuck he
Maybe there
knows?
isn't one. Maybe there isn't one.
Well,
I
maybe
just said
he
that
doesn't
right
know
now.
exactly.
I just
But the
maybe
doctors
somebody
didn't
higher.
tell you?
I don't know.
The doctor said...
no one has any information on me, and you're acting like that's my fucking fault.
No. I'm not. None of us are doing that.
It's just weird,
See what I
right?
can learn about
Strange.
him on the interwebs.
Interesting. Okay. All
I
right.
give you the girl eyebrow language where it's just like maybe medical records.
You got any?
I'm gonna go through my stuff. I'm gonna try to find because I've held on to my discharge papers. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
whatever they gave us.
Sure.
I'm gonna find them. It should have the name of the institution on it.
Sure.
I don't mean to be too forward, but do you have any scars, tattoos, markings?
I mean, I got scars. I got some. I don't have. I take it off my shirt. There's just like some scars from like tubes and stuff. Like I think you see actually like scars around my body that look like just like small round scars.
Do I recognize what that is?
Not necessarily. Okay. You've seen augmentation. Obviously, you are. So obviously, there was some sort of surgery of some sort, but you don't necessarily know what it pertains to specifically.
Okay.
And there is on my left shoulder that looks like a bullet. Clearly, like a bullet. Well, it was once a bullet.
Right.
I don't know what any of this is.
Yeah. So with a 4, you start doing a cursory sort of glance and a search.
Also, I clocked 10 years.
Sorry?
Also, I clocked 10 years.
10 years. Okay. All right. Make sure that you, the last hack and this hack that you had, that's your God score. We can take 3 off for that, but you did 2 hacking things today.
So wait.
So the 4 that you just got, and then the 4 successes you just got, and then you just also hacked the comm. And so
Right,
whatever
but I
that
took...
was. Yeah.
So -3 each time.
Minus 3 each time, though, with Gorf, right?
Each time,
That's-
yes.
It's each time that Glorp is around.
So it wouldn't be
But
right
didn't
now.
we go down some because of, like, time pass?
Yes,
Yes.
you would have. So what were you at?
Oh, yeah.
I was
as
at
of yesterday?
16.
16?
Right?
I would say we bring it down to 10 overnight.
Okay. And then I add 8
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at a 5.
That's fine.
You'd be good.
I'd be good.
Yeah,
Okay.
it would have cleared. Yeah. Okay. With that 4, how much access did you want? Do you want to go to user access and then go deeper, or what's your...
I want to know what the name of the institution he was at was when he woke up. I want to know if there's any, like, public ID of the doctors that worked on him, medical records, anything that I can get my hands on of people that would have been in touch with him.
Sure. So at the user level, I would say that you gain the name of the institution was Trillium Biotech.
Trillium Biotech?
Yep.
Does that ring a bell?
It is an institution you know is here. It is actually a hospital in Seattle.
You know why I'm asking. Does that ring a bell? If you don't know why I'm asking, that's fine.
I don't.
Okay, then never
offhand.
mind.
It's not clicking.
Okay. Trillium Biotech.
Yeah. Trillium Biotech. He was brought in, like left there.
I gotcha. Okay.
They found him out front.
Okay.
And then they basically brought him back to health. And then he was discharged in Outlaw's care.
Okay.
He said he would take care of him. He had nowhere to go. He had no identity. And so they discharged him with Outlaw.
And they registered Outlaw as, like, his caretaker or whatever.
Yeah, so
like his...
Outlaw wasn't his name. It would have been a dummy name.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, under his fake sin, he would have been discharged in his name with Frane's permission.
Gotcha. And this this isn't the first time I have seen Outlaw or heard from Outlaw in the last 10 years, is it?
It is. It would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So at the end of that mission, when things went bad, you guys bugged out, as was the plan. If anything goes bad, everybody goes their separate ways.
Gotcha.
And you did that, and you haven't talked to him since.
All right. Got it.
And maybe you've heard about him and runs he's been on and things or whatever. I mean, he's been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was.
Got it.
And that was about a decade ago.
Is there anything else, Frayne? Anything else you remember? Anything else you've learned? Anything that might be of use?
I think that I think that I got memories that are maybe buried somewhere. I don't off the top of my head. I mean, I really just don't know anything, but I have dreams.
Oh.
I think maybe there's something to them. I had a dream last night that I was, I felt like I was swimming in the ocean, but like really deep under it, and it felt still and warm and calm, and felt really safe.
Were you moving or were you still?
I was just kind of floating, I think, and there's a sound of someone's voice that sometimes comes into my dreams, and they're a voice I don't know. I don't think not anyone familiar, but I feel like sometimes they're reading to me or something from like a kid's book. I don't know if I'm having like dreams of my mom or something, but I don't even know who she was.
I used to read to my son.
Don't tell me that. I don't want to know that about you. I don't want to know that about you. You have a beautiful family, and I don't want to know more about them than you've already shared.
Okay.
Or you had one, and I'm sorry for your loss.
I see him in dreams too. Every night.
I don't want to talk like this right now. Can we not talk?
So he's expressed this dream scenario where he's still in the water, and I see he's got his shirt off. I see the scars. And I've been around, you see. I wonder if, does it click for me? The incubation pod is the thing that's coming to my brain. I'm lining up these scars with what I think.
Give me a double logic test.
Here you go. I don't know a fucking thing. Well, I'm gonna burn an edge.
Do we get our edge back after a long rest?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna re-roll all my die. I'll burn one edge. That's 2 successes.
2?
Yeah.
Okay. With 2, I mean, with the scars look like, because you've had a lot of work done and you were in a place where a lot of work was done,
Yeah.
that they are absolutely cords that would have gone in and done something.
Yeah.
Some of them I'd say look older than 10 years. Like some of those scars look older and some of them look newer. And you don't know what the discrepancy is. You're not a doctor, but you know that that's weird. The whole floating thing could be a lot of things. He said he may have fallen off a boat.
Right.
It's hard to kind of know, but there's obviously he's had some work done, whether it was surgery or something. He doesn't have any implants other than the ones that you see and the ones that you know. Like he's not been augmented that way, but yes, he has been in some sort of medical, biotechnical.
I'll just let that percolate. Look, the important thing is we're communicating, right? All of us. You say you don't want us to do something, we won't do it. Vice versa.
Okay. I understand that a little better now. I appreciate that lesson. We should move forward, right? Are we ready to go?
You got to put a shirt on.
Right. I guess. Don't want to be giving people a show while we're on the job. Put my clothes back on.
Okay. All right.
So tell me what I know already about the Escapist Den.
Yes. So you know it is managed by Earl. What you have partaken in there is up to you. But there are a number of different opportunities. Basically, the way it works is there are a number of rooms upstairs. Each one of them has a pay terminal that you just wirelessly pay to. It says if it's occupied or vacant, and you can access whatever experience is in there. And the experiences change over time, and so they're rotated in and out. But downstairs is kind of like a lounge area. They offer all sorts of beverages and narcotics and all kinds of things that you can purchase in order to enjoy your experience as much as you want there. Earl is the manager who's there most of the time, but does not own it.
And how public? I mean, it's. I'm assuming.
It's mostly runners. It's like a runner's place.
Right.
There are people who kind of stumble in off the street.
I more mean in terms of the authorities. Like, do they keep an eye on this? Is it underground? Is it?
No, it's just on the street.
Okay.
It is advertised as such.
Okay.
But you imagine that the owner has some sort of understanding with law enforcement to be able to function and run without a lot of scrutiny.
Right.
Because of the type of people that tend to frequent. And so they're probably bought off or something, but you're not sure about the details there. You do know that there are 3 entrances. There's a front door entrance, which is just the normal entrance, which usually has somebody watching it. There is a back door that is barred with a pretty heavy maglock system that is never open, and that is only in the case of an emergency for getting people out. But there is also a secret entrance from the sewers into the basement, so that if people have to get out of there quickly or get in there without a lot of scrutiny, they can do so.
And that's how Torrin said he got from there, right?
I don't think you guys.
Torrin never went there.
talking
Oh,
about
Torrin
the-
never. The wizard. He
Gotcha.
met.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think he met him in person, right? He didn't meet that Mr. Johnson in person.
Sorry, yeah,
That's
sorry.
right. He didn't meet him in person. Correct?
No, he never met the wizard in person, but he has gone there. Oh yeah, sorry. So Torrin has gone there, but he never said he went through the sewers. He just said he's been
Gotcha.
there
Gotcha.
to meet with. That's the only way to meet with the wizard.
Okay.
He said it's just a room that the wizard wants to meet in. You have to find him yourself. Is
Yeah,
that
he
kinda
just
how-
said the wizard. You meet with the wizard at the Escapist Den. That's all you know.
Right.
And he meets only virtually, in his own host.
Well, I'm pretty familiar with the Escapist Den. I've spent a good amount of time there, killing the days. I've got a friend there. I think they might be able to find this wizard for us, without me having to hack into anything.
Well, that's nice because you can't really walk around and be like, "Hey, have you seen the wizard?" That's kind of conspicuous.
Quick question. Are there any spare clothes here? Because I still smell like the sewer.
I think you smell lovely.
Well, he said we can have at it with whatever's here, so I'm basically gonna raid his closet and see.
Sure. And he does have laundry facilities in this place.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
Yeah, he does
We've got
have
to
a
close
washer
maybe
dryer
that's just in my skin now.
Yeah.
And we
Maybe
might
that's-
be going back
Maybe
through the
that's not-
sewers, so
that's
we don't
true.
know.
We might be. There's just
But to that point, if there's anything that we can take, like cloak or something to cover ourselves up a little bit
Little
more.
change.
So you guys want to disguise
Change something.
yourselves?
A little bit,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, not like 5 exact same cloaks or something, but
Sure.
just something,
Yeah,
you know,
something different.
Something
a
a
little,
little different.
something different, so
Okay.
that we're not all exactly like how
Cool.
we might be
All
showing
right.
up on the news.
Okay.
Um.
On your way to the Escapist Den?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I
Sneaky,
think
sneaky like.
Yeah.
I think as I imagine you're closing up shop here when we leave, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we all, unless there's something anyone else wants to do inside here, we all make our way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're sort of the last one in there, closing shop
I'm
up.
closing up. Yep.
All right, so you see a ping on your comm. It's an email from me.
What?
Yeah.
Super torn and confused now about everything that we've talked about. I'm kind of like, am I supposed to open this? Is this discreet? Am I keeping a secret? Is this a setup?
It's a
So
trap.
I ignore it.
Okay. All right.
For now.
I fucked with
And I
her
look
hair.
around, basically seeing if what just happened was a test.
Sorry, say that again.
I look around
Yeah.
to see if I can ascertain based on them if what just happened was a test.
Still watching the news.
Interesting. I'm gonna let you all. So, and are you talking about a test from them? Like,
Yeah, if they're testing my, you know, how forthcoming I am.
sure.
You know, like someone sending me what looks like a private message after we just had a conversation about nothing is meant to be private anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like they're
So now you're just looking awkwardly at like each of us
Yeah,
individually.
give
Is
me
it
a
like what's
perception check, and then I'll let them decide based on your successes what they glean from that.
and that's logic,
Plus willpower.
willpower. 4, 5, 6, 10. What's the 4? 4. There we go.
God, I really want to light this.
Huh?
I really want to light this.
Oh.
Wow.
Ooh, almost a
Close.
glitch. One
Whoa.
hit
One hit.
and
With-
4 ones.
With
But that's
one,
not half.
yeah, that's not. That's
I
not
rolled
half.
10.
Okay.
You can put an edge for him?
With a one,
Save it. That's not.
Yeah.
with a one, what does he glean from each of you from that whole experience?
I mean, I'm not watching him particularly hardcore this moment, but I imagine I would notice that he's a little, like, awkward. More awkward than usual.
what I mean was from the way that were you being forthright? Were you testing him? Does it get the sense that maybe you were kind
Well,
of
I
like
didn't send
pushing
him an
harder
email,
than-
so
Yeah. So so you meant
Is
from,
anyone looking? So I think like, is anyone?
Yeah.
I'm looking right
basically-
at you.
You're looking right at
I've
me.
seen you. I saw you check the email. I let
Uh-huh.
them walk out. I turn around.
Yeah.
I see you check the email. And I
Mhm.
see you look up, and I sort of give you one of these.
I'll open it.
Okay.
It's a picture of all of us from when we first met Torin. And underneath the picture, it says family. And if you look up to find me, I'm gone. I'm sitting in the passenger seat of the car now.
This.
Fan art, please.
yeah.
Requesting right now.
From your own drone.
Yeah.
I don't delete it,
Okay.
but I
So you're saying there's a chance.
remove
There's
it.
a chance.
I immediately put it in another folder, so it's not in my. So I don't have to look at that every
Sure.
time.
Every time
I
you open them, yeah. Sure. Your folders. Yeah. Your folders.
What is the folder named?
I create a folder
Yeah.
on the spot because I'm not the kind of person that I think files emails in folders.
Yeah.
And it's just the
Untitled
folder.
folder.
It's just X.
Yeah,
I just
X.
put X and then just put it in there, so it's not.
Anybody else have like 17 untitled folder 1, untitled folder 2,
yeah,
untitled
Yes.
You don't even want to look at my email.
No. No, you
No.
absolutely. This is a cesspool. This thing right here. It's very bad.
Great. Awesome. All right. Everybody set?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How do you want to approach
We're off to see the wizard.
We should we just skip it.
I was waiting for somebody.
I mean, I'm going into my vehicle because
Okay.
that's
Yep.
Right.
my thing.
Which
so,
entrance are you planning to potentially use?
I mean, we might as well. Well, no,
Can we
wait a
not do the
minute.
sewer though this time?
Well, here's the thing. If there's a bounty on our head and this is a Shadowrunner's establishment, we're going to have to do this a little bit more discreetly. Can I hit up Earl before we go?
Very good. You
Actually-
absolutely have Earl's information.
I'd
Question
like
for you too. When
Yeah.
there's a moment.
Yeah.
Finish your thing first.
I'd like to hit up Earl, but I'd like to use whatever kind of a firewall that I possibly can to make it a discreet
protected?
number.
Yeah, sure.
A protected line.
Yeah, we'll say that. That's
It's a
fine.
pure line.
Yeah, that's it.
English is apparently not my first language.
Sure. All right, what does it say?
Looking to pull the trigger in a not so obvious way. Where can I get in?
Okay.
It's not my best work, but
Yeah, the response comes immediately and says, "What the frack did you do?"
Oh.
Then it says, "There is a lot of heat on you. It's pretty quiet now, but I don't want to get caught up in this. I can get you in, but it's going to cost you."
What's the price then?
500 new yen.
She laughs, but not in text. And she writes, oof. 500 new yen. You don't know. So,
Yeah,
oof,
you just bought
oof.
more grenades. Than
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like, oof. Worth the price. Didn't do anything. I'll fill you in there if you want to know.
Okay. He says, "I'll meet you in the sewer."
No! Right, down we go then.
And then he says, "Transfer first,"
Man. Oh, right.
which is easy. You just kind of.
Yeah. Bye.
Great.
I'm
All
like,
right.
please
Sorry,
no
what were you gonna
vampires.
say,
Please no
Tal?
vampires. Please no vampires.
I was curious because obviously the news came up because I didn't know that information. Did Torrens show up on the news at all?
No, it was just about what
About the
happened.
shootout.
Your
It was
name
about- yeah,
or anything.
wasn't our
Yeah.
faces. It was just
Yeah.
the shootout.
Yeah,
There was a shootout.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
about the
No, this is they're
Well, because you said
definitely
there's
covering
a
us.
BPA out for Torrent.
Yeah, but that's on the private.
that's on
police.
private? Okay, cool.
No, they're
That's why I was curious if
definitely-
that had gone public at all.
Yeah.
They're,
That's just within the the network of.
they're definitely hiding the
Ooh.
fact that people are out to get us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are not hiding the fact that something horrible happened
Yeah.
to a building.
And
Yeah,
there's
be honest.
no like photograph or video footage of anyone. There's just a very generic news.
It's the aftermath.
Yeah.
Bunch of
We know they had drones.
dead dudes.
We do know they had
They
drones, and we know
had
the cops.
They had
Cops.
terrorists.
We know that the law. So look, what corporation owns the media? Is it one or is it multiple?
Horizon is like the kind of social media conglomerate company that
And that was their building.
controls a lot of it.
What's the Horizon building?
Yeah, but
Yeah. It was a
everybody kind
Horizon
of the corporations are very incestuous, to say the least. Like they own different parts of the same thing a lot of times,
Oh.
and they go in together and then they build things, all trying to vie for top spot in that top 10.
Does Horizon have any specific, obvious rivals?
Yes. They don't necessarily. They tend to play fairly nice.
Okay.
And it's that you know of.
Who plays not nice?
Yeah. So,
Like-
which is public knowledge, and you're a Shadowrunner, so you have a bit of a deeper knowledge into what the
Right.
corporations are. I'll give you a little bit of the overview of the corporations. Horizon's number 10, so they're at the bottom of the number 10. They
Oh.
just kind of are working their way up, and they focus on media, advertising, entertainment, social networks, consumer goods and services, that kind of things, and pharmaceuticals. So every big corporation has to be part of the Big 10, have to have their hands in multiple things.
Okay.
But they're very social media based, and so they're like they have this again, their logo is like Horizon with like a sunrise, and so they're very nice and friendly on the exterior. But you know that every mega corporation is not in order to get to where they are. Do you want all of them? Do you want all the top 10?
Might as well.
Don't
Sure.
we go through them? Coming in at number 9.
I was gonna.
Ares Macro Technology.
Them on there.
Sorry, Horizon is based in Los Angeles. They're in LA. Right where we are, actually. Ares is based in Detroit. And they're mostly military hardware and law enforcement. And they own the Knight Errant, which is the second biggest police conglomerate organization in the world. This is an old list. One sec. I took this from Anarchy. There's an updated list.
Hang on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
I forgot I gave my
Because
now
one has changed. There was a company called Neonet.
Neonet.
There was.
There was.
I know there's one company that's in with the Yakuza.
And now, on number 8, they were based in Boston, but they are now called Spinrad.
Spinrad?
Yeah. And Neonet is responsible for, some people believe they're responsible for the CFD virus, which was a virus that AI took over people's minds, and it spread amongst the population, and you still look like the person you are, but you were part of a AI
Like a web.
Whoa. You're like the Borg. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And
they
it became
just like
militant.
And they just like rebranded to Spinrad.
Exactly. So Neonet and another company that, called Evo Corporation were both responsible potentially for that CFD virus to be released. That's believed.
And Evo's the corporation that came in.
Yeah.
Federation.
Yeah. So you have ties to Evo. Yeah. So
Is Evo on the list?
Yeah, they're next.
Okay.
So Neonet was responsible for cyberware and electronics and matrix infrastructure. In fact, they were responsible for a lot of the crashes that happened. They fixed it. And so they basically run most of the hosts across the matrix. They did. Spinrad took over. Spinrad is now in Lisbon.
Oh.
Hometown, what's up? They kind of took over, but they're still responsible again for a lot of the matrix situation. So that was Neonet, now it's called Spinrad. Evo Corporation is based in Russia. Vladivostok is the city, which is considered one of the most technically advanced cities in the world. And they want to take metahumanity to the next stage of evolution. So a lot of transhumanist projects, bioware cybernetics, anti-aging experiments, things like that. And they are the ones that were responsible for the stuff that happened to you.
Right.
Wuxing, Wuxing, Incorporated in Hong Kong. They're at number 6 with finance, shipping concerns. Now, I know you guys are writing all this down. It is in the book too.
No, I know.
So, but it's,
my brain process.
I'm just trying to remember.
like
I'm trying to remember. Too.
Totally.
Is this the company that's in with the Yakuza? The Yakuza, not the Jacuzzi.
No,
The
that would
Yakuza.
be that would be the Japanese side of things. There,
Okay.
everybody's kind of involved with mafiosos, and mafia is a big thing and thing. But
Okay.
but no, they're not
Okay.
directly
So Wuxing is in China.
in China. Yeah.
Okay.
And they recently expanded into agriculture, engineering, and a bunch of other things. But mostly it's finance and shipping and
Okay.
magical service and goods. Shioways, which is in Osaka, Japan.
Spell the company.
Shiawase. Shiwazi, however you want to pronounce it, is the oldest of the megacorps. In fact, it was one of the first. And they are into technical service, minerals, and military goods, and much more. As Technology at
Which is
4.
Great name.
What a great name.
Isn't that a great?
Yeah. They're in Tenochtitlan.
Tenochtitlan.
It's Tenochtitlan.
I think I'm ever going to remember that, so I'm just not going to.
In Aztlan, which is, anyways, food, chemicals, Tridio game software, military goods, they're at 4, and magical supplies. Renraku, computer systems, which control, they're in Chiba, Japan, or Japanese imperial state, it's called now, which controls the largest data repository and almost all of the Asia's local grids. Saeder Krupp, Saeder-Krupp, Heavy Industries. That's in Essen, German, in the Allied German states. And that corporation is run. Many of the corporations are run by dragons, actually, but Saeder Krupp is run by Lufweir, Lofwyr, who is the Great Dragon. And they're into heavy industries, chemicals, finance, and aerospace. And finally, at number 1 is Mitsuhama Computer Technologies in Kyoto, in the Japanese Imperial State. And they're in computers, robotics, and others. That's the Big 10.
Thank you for that lesson. I know could have read that in the book, but this.
Yes, it's good. No, it's good
like
for
real life law.
everything.
Yeah.
For everyone.
And also, I feel like all of us would know all of this
Yes.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've
And
lived
so
it
back to your
before.
original question, which I forgot before all that.
Well, no. Is there any specific company that would be a specific rival to Horizon that would make sense that they would be trying to?
Nobody else is in social media and marketing, really.
Yeah.
Some of them have dabbled in it, but most of them are in heavy infrastructure or web, for matrix infrastructure or military goods, consumer goods.
Mission that I did with the Outlaw.
Yeah.
Do I know who? Anything like was that? Do I know anything about what we've already discussed publicly?
It was
At
off
this
the
point.
grid.
Right. So I pretty much know nothing.
It was in Russia. And you didn't go in the facility, and you
Correct.
don't know which
I was-
corporation it belonged to.
Okay. All
It
of
was-
those
it was
things
that.
are pretty well known.
It was that
Yeah,
hidden.
yeah. Got it. But I already know. Yeah, I know what I know. Okay.
So
Right. So we just got to buy our way in there.
well,
I feel like this.
I have a question regarding the social media.
Yeah.
In terms of what gets put on the news and what doesn't get put on the news, they have final say.
Nobody really knows. And each news corporation is owned and funded by different corporations, and they're constantly vying for information and spots. So it's very convoluted. But Horizon just specializes in it, and so they specialize in the marketing and So yes, a lot of it is controlled by Horizon, absolutely. But who knows who pulls the strings to the back end?
So the sewers it is, yeah?
Yeah, fine. And
Again.
it's going to cost a little bit of money, but this one's on me.
Okay.
I was kind of hoping we were going to take the sewers again.
Why?
Yeah, you like the smell of it.
Yeah,
You saw him smiling. I caught a photo of it from my drone. The smirk on his face when he splashed down in the sewer, it was...
all of this smells
I
artificial.
mean, I get it. You wrecked shit. That was great. But like,
No, I just
No.
mean it smells like home.
oh, okay.
I think maybe all of you are too young to remember what it was before all of this.
Well, I'm not as young as I look. It's just clean living.
I get that. Maybe you know. It smells like life being lived down there.
Well, there's definitely some life being lived down there.
Yeah.
Just prepare yourself. In the escapist den, you're going to smell a lot of life as well.
With that, we are going to take a break. We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining the Realmsmith stream of Shadowrun. We are playing an amalgamation of Shadowrun Anarchy and Shadowrun 6th World, which is 6th edition. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit today about Shadowrun Anarchy. Shadowrun Anarchy is a 5th edition rules light book that you can, if you really love the story of Shadowrun and the lore, but the rules are a little crunchy or heavy for you, this is a great way to get started. So Shadowrun Anarchy is available at the Catalyst online store at store.catalystgamelabs.com, and you'll be able to play right along with the rest of the cast here. So head on over, get your copy, and we'll see you next time.
All right, we are back. And I just got a ton of merch delivered to the studio.
Oh,
So we're going to toss it out Oprah style
Yay.
and then move on. So let's start that. Okay, so we have a bunch of metal dice.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
toss those.
These are dope.
Oh,
So someone catch him for. Oh yeah, there you go.
I'm excited.
We also have
Oh,
we have
wow.
one more set of green if somebody wants electric green instead
hang on,
of
what color did I
colors they
get?
have.
Who wants blue? Or do you want green?
It does, here.
I got green already.
I can't tell what color this is.
Who wants the blue?
It's not pink.
I
We
mean,
also
I got
have.
blue.
I got red.
Hey, those are awesome.
That's kind of pink. Isn't it?
Oh, I gave mine away.
So here.
That's okay. No, I don't need them. It's good. No. No, we're good. Good. Let's do it. I'll use the blue ones. Perfect.
You know,
Thank you.
They're individually
normally I
wrapped.
would think
Yeah.
that these. Normally I might not choose.
Oh, are these
pink
like
dice,
aluminum?
But I feel like this is a ray of light in the darkest of settings. So I'm gonna roll my happy pink dice.
Aw. And
as
then we
I
have pins.
try
We have
not to-
Shadowrun pins,
Those are cool.
which we could do. We have triple X pins, Shadowrun pins, and we have regular pins. So here, I won't
Oh,
throw
I
those
see
because they
those.
might open up.
I know. I was like, triple X
Pass
feels
those.
like it's.
Perfect for me.
I mean, no, I'll just like wear that in the bedroom.
Here,
Um,
here we go.
Red or are those? Oh, they are red.
They say
Here.
red.
Do you guys have? Each one of you have a pin?
We need one more.
all of our dice.
Here you go.
Thanks.
Thank
I'll
you.
take. Oh yeah, I just passed one.
And you guys have
Well, I
pins?
get
2
triple
pins
X.
there?
Yeah.
We had two different ones.
Cool.
The triple
Perfect.
X.
I'm happy with my triple X pin.
We
I
have
mean-
one hoodie.
Oh.
A hoodie, apparently. It's a hoodie.
Buddy.
It's really cool, actually.
Oh,
It's a cyber.
wow.
It's a Shadowrun hoodie. Yeah, I know. And it has, when you bring up the hood, it's got a.
Oh, it's at the anarchy symbol on the front of it.
It's like a
It's got
ninja mask.
Cowl. It's got a little. It's like a whole little
Anyways,
balaclava
so we have
situation.
one of those. So whatever.
Will we fight for it? There can be only one.
Fight for it. Every
Then we-
character now enters initiative.
Then we also have edge tokens and dice. So there's extra dice for big rolls, and they have little poker chips, which are edge tokens that you can
Okay,
use
right. Well, he
to
had
track
green.
your
You should-
edge.
you
The
should
real
have
edge
that.
tokens down.
This is not.
I do wonder, for our purposes, if those should be plot point, because I can throw you plot points.
Oh,
Yeah,
For
we
our
could do that.
purposes, let's. You ready for this?
Oh, there's
Y'all
more
ready
dice
for
in here
this?
too.
You ready for this? Are you missing one too?
Oh yes.
Luis, what color are your dice? Are they green?
They're green.
No, the ones in the package. Are they green?
They're green and black.
Oh, there you go. More green.
And then we also have T-shirts.
Yay!
Jack Point T-shirts. I'm just gonna pass these
Yeah,
out.
just
Give me
Some of them are
give
Shadowruns.
me
If there
the
is an-
child-sized one.
Medium.
Extra medium, please.
Ha!
Medium.
Yeah.
Extra large.
Nope.
No XLs.
Nope.
I'm an XL, so I will hold on to that one. This is a medium,
I guess I'll take. I bet you don't have small.
large. Boop. I have more. All the things here. This one is assassin. It's just a small.
Okay.
One of these.
I also have another large, another small. Does everybody have a T-shirt?
Yes.
yes.
I got
Thanks,
one.
Oprah.
Ooh,
Thank you, Catalyst.
Assassin's Night.
There's so much stuff.
I
Yeah.
know. Good thing
Can I
I
get
brought a
pink dice?
suitcase
exactly.
today.
And then this is super cool.
Oh.
This is like a
Oh, it's a sled-
statue.
it's a
What's
sledge
all this
statue.
then?
The sledge orc street samurai thing, and I'm gonna put it on the side of my table here, hopefully in the camera angle. I gotta open that. I can't do that. Somebody have a knife or something. Anyways,
Somebody have a knife.
I know that took time, but toys are fun. So
Heck yeah.
Oh, they got troll skulls on the back of them. That's not fun.
Nice.
so however many plot points you have, put that aside, and then I can throw you plot points as I give them to you.
Do you want to take the ones back after? Oh, no, hold on. You have two.
I'll just
Well,
put
yeah. Do we regain
Oh,
the
yeah.
ones that we know?
Plot points you don't regain.
Plot points you.
'Cause I
earn
had-
allies
You earn.
space.
Yeah, we don't. So
But,
I
but,
used.
Oh, yeah,
I-
you used 2 yesterday.
Yeah, so
But
I
you
should have
also-
2 because I had 4 total.
Yeah, you had 4
Because you
total.
start with 3 and then I got 1.
Start with 2.
If you
No, you start with 2, but you got 1, and then we all got
And then
one.
we got another one.
Yeah,
that's right.
We all
She-
got
she
one.
got- yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So you've got 2.
2. Okay.
Then I have 3. That leaves me 2 extra, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Those go back to.
And the nice thing about these
I'm putting
dice
them up in
is hits have the Shadowrun logo on them,
Oh, I see.
and the ones have a skull on them.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you know, yeah,
Yes.
You know when you're screwed.
if it's bad. Okay.
Use these ones too.
Thanks, Catalyst.
I love how they
Thank
steal.
you, Catalyst.
Yeah.
Thanks, Santa.
Yep. I love it. I love it.
And
Okay.
I'm gonna reuse these for other things.
Dead garbage.
Beautiful.
What's that?
All right, and I will wear that shirt tomorrow.
Oh, it's on this side, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's cool.
Yeah, these are definitely getting.
Look how cool
Oh,
he
wow.
is.
Whoa.
That is very cool.
When do we meet him?
Right now.
Oh, what?
No, just kidding.
No.
That's awesome.
that is
That's who you're
awesome.
fighting next.
If I put it here, it's not going to be seen, right?
Nope.
No.
You?
It would have to be on
Do you
top.
want
Yeah,
it?
Put it on one of
it'd be
those.
on top.
Put it in the middle of that table there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's some sexy shit, yo.
It's great. Okay. Oh, back at it, folks.
Yeah.
Just before the break, you were on your way to the escapist den.
To the sewers.
Through
Through
the
the
sewers.
sewers,
Just because Liv didn't want to.
Oh, yeah.
And you were going to meet with Earl, who you had paid initially because Earl is obviously concerned about the heat that you're bringing with you,
Completely
given your
understandably
current situation.
500.
Yeah, right?
Whatever.
For 500.
I clearly left money on the table on that deal. I clearly left money on
He
the
don't
table.
know, but he don't know.
You don't know.
Earl?
Exactly.
Earl's just an honest worker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Also have a
Yeah, no.
It's amazing how that keeps happening.
You got into the sewers. I'm going to say, for the sake of
Yes.
brevity,
Yes.
you're able to kind of you know where the access point is, where there's no cameras. You get out of the Jeep, you stash the Jeep, you get into the sewer. I'm assuming you're all going into the escapist den. You're not waiting outside. It's a little ways off. Like you have to travel for 5 minutes at least under in the sewers.
Yeah.
To
Can we stay together?
My body is coming, but I'm bringing the drone.
The drone, and remember, you said you have a backpack that it kind of pops out of and flies out.
So
That's
I'm doing
super
that.
awesome. Okay.
Cool.
So you all traverse the sewers. It's about a 5 to 10 minute walk under the sewers until you come to a ladder, sort of in an inlet in the sewers, and you see that there is another dwarf, stocky. He's got a close-cut, cropped beard, long hair, sort of put back in a ponytail, and it is Earl. And he's like, he looks at you, and he kind of looks at everybody with you, not necessarily realizing that you were bringing a crew, and he kind of like steps back and he says, you all have been in some trouble.
Yeah, well, you know me well enough to know this wasn't me, and it wasn't them either. I wouldn't have brought them if I didn't trust them.
You understand what you're doing here. Like, you understand what you're putting me through, just being here.
Well,
And it was 500 for you.
Oh, man. Fair is fair, no problem. I just
500. So if I
fine.
I will too.
And this isn't for me. This is for people I have to pay off to be quiet. That
Of
you
course,
were here.
yeah.
All right.
Everyone, this is
Okay, so-
Earl. Earl, this is everyone. Less you know, the better.
All right. As soon as the transfers are done, across the comm links, he says, "Well, what can I help you with? You want in? What are you looking for?"
We're trying to find someone named the Wizard.
The wizard. Well, that's funny because there is a room, an experience in one of the rooms upstairs called the Wizard's Dungeon.
Huh.
I'm assuming that's what you're looking for. You want
Seems
to play
a little
game?
bit. Seems a little bit on the nose.
It's a game. You go in and it's fun. People enjoy it. We've had it here. It's on its third run.
Right. So in the escapist den, there's fun, and then there's fun. Are we talking like fun for the kiddies? Or are we talking like fun for the grown-ups?
Well, I wouldn't say. Yeah, this is more like fun for the kiddies.
All right.
It's a video game. I'm not into video games.
All right. All right.
It's a full SimSense assist, your virtual game experience.
They don't make video games like they used to.
No, they do not.
And can all of us go in there together? Do I have to hack in?
It's currently occupied, but you can wait
What
until
about
it
that
is done.
representative?
Well, that's going to cost you a little extra. I don't know if I can divulge. We usually keep
How much
that.
you need? This is important.
Another 5.
Done.
Another 5. That's a
Did it.
lot.
I sent it. I sent it already.
Big orc individual comes in here like every couple days. Goes by the name Bitbucket.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Bitbucket.
Bitbucket.
He's in there right now alone.
He's in there
So-
right now alone.
Big orc, armed.
Yeah, well, as we all are
And he's alone.
right now. Yes, he comes in here every couple days.
Earl, I'm going to ask you a favor. Would you mind taking a beating so we can go in there without you getting in trouble?
Oh man,
Otherwise, we're just going to have to go in and you are going to get in trouble. And I'm sorry, mate, but this time, this matters.
Right. I don't want any trouble. I don't want any attention.
I
What is your intention?
That man's
just want to find out. Just want to find out why he fucked us.
Bitbucket.
Yep.
Never really liked him. I'll let you in there on the house.
Right, but I'm going to make you look like...
Sure. I'll go on break. When you get up there and you're about to pay, use your comm link and we'll call it a malfunction.
Thanks, so.
Thank you.
Right. Well, follow me. It's pretty quiet up there right now, luckily. There isn't a lot of people in there. Those that I trust I've already told not to pay attention. There are some folks in the rooms upstairs. I can't account for them.
So hold on. Are we snatching and grabbing?
Snatching and grabbing Bitbucket?
Yeah.
He's talking to the... I'm confused. He's talking to the wizard. We need to talk to the wizard, don't we?
I think we need to talk
Is
to
the
both of them.
wizard like an actual person, or is it
he's
the room?
He's the Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
the
he's
Mr.
Mr.
Johnson,
Johnson.
that was responsible for the job you went on that
Yeah.
screwed you over.
So
So he's in that room.
He's
in that...
reporting back on what he did, probably. right?
Bitbucket is reporting back to the Mr. Johnson who...
Gotcha. Okay, up
Yeah.
to speed.
Yeah.
Can you guys?
Is there a way... above board. Is there a way... How complicated is this video game with the wizard?
Complicated?
Well, you know my skills.
Sure.
Could I program it?
Nobody's tried. I don't know.
I mean,
I just, whatever it says in the brochure, it's something about a dungeon and epic dungeon crawl.
plug your ears and say la 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 la. Listen,
La, la,
what if we were to
la,
hack
la,
into
la.
that video game just to be safe?
Mm-hmm.
We could keep tabs on the wizard as well.
Okay.
And that way, one way or the other, we could have both of them. Someone else chime in here. I'm just spitballing.
No, I like what you're
Do
saying.
we
I
want to
what
like
you're
listen in on what they're talking about
Yes.
before we go in there?
We could do that from afar,
Mhm.
and then if we need to snatch and grab Bitbucket, we can grab him on the way out.
saying. Right. I like this.
Okay.
Two-prong approach has always worked well.
Yep.
So people in the Matrix doing some surveillance and feeling it out, but those of us on the outside ready to snatch the meat self of Bitbucket and taking him with us back to the safe house before he comes to.
But if you get caught, we're not going to be able to get there in time before they bail out of the room. And if the wizard's not there in meat space at all, then he just escapes.
La 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 la.
I don't think
la,
the
la,
wizard.
la.
I feel like the wizard is in the video game.
The wizard is in the video game already.
Is that true?
That's what we understand. That's
Yes.
from what I remember.
I mean, la 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 la.
Earl, I love you. Just love you, mate. I really do.
Please meet
Thank you.
Of course.
I
Look.
feel like this might be a good move.
Yeah.
I think so.
Get your boy Glorp on too.
All right. As soon as we're in.
Right. So let's.
So who's hitting who?
So I think the two of us should go into
The Matrix.
the Matrix. You can do either,
I
right?
can go in and out.
Your meat body is not as useful as your drones, or your meat body is solid.
My drone is better than my meat body, but I got both. I got
Okay.
my meat body and myself,
Maybe you should position yourself in the back exit.
so I can get everything ready to go quickly if we need to.
Or if
We
they
need to
get the
bail.
jump on us and they leave, you can catch them before we get there.
That too. It's a great
Yeah.
idea.
Done. I leave. I'm
Who am I
going
hitting?
to cover the back exit. In
Downstairs?
Case, yeah. So I'm gonna. I'll ask him to. Hey, if you could just lead me through to the back, and I'll make do on my own.
Blaze, ideas?
Maglock emergency exit.
Ideas?
We're probably going to need to use the emergency exit to get out of here, mate. You know we can't go anywhere else.
So
We
no.
can't go through the
blowing
front
up
door
this
when
time.
we leave.
You know our rules about that exit. We don't use it ever. But if you need it,
Well-
we're in this deep.
I mean, what
I
good's an
would say that
emergency
would
exit if you can't use it in an emergency?
I would say this constitutes as a possible emergency
Emergency
situation.
for you, not an
Right.
emergency for
We'll
me.
do our best to get ourselves out the way we came.
All right.
but just
Again,
Earl.
I know nothing about
you
this.
know nothing about this.
Good.
We are not the droids you're looking for.
I think I remember that reference.
In the
So
long
I'm a
run,
bit
we're doing
old.
you a favor, Earl, because the person that you're doing business with right now is not to be trusted, and they're setting people up.
There's a lot of people I'm sure I can't trust that I do business with.
Yeah.
But this is the kind of person that can very easily make you their next target.
All right.
We're not those people.
Right. Don't prove me wrong. here.
Right. Shall we?
Yep.
Yep.
Right. So he starts up the ladder. He opens up the hatch, and the hatch comes out into a closet. Like it's like basically like a
Like a
a
service
fairly
closet.
large closet, but like a service closet. And you kind of come up into it. He closes the hatch. You're all in like a little room.
I
It's
just
like
realized
a
a
janitorial room.
bit of a problem with our plan.
What's
Is
that?
that if we go into VR, our bodies have to be somewhere safe.
They're going to be in that room.
They'll be in the
They'll watch you
All right.
because you got to go into VR in that same.
And presumably,
I thought that we were going to go grab the meat bodies in the other room, so we
I
can't.
think
No,
they're-
it's all in the same
yeah,
room. The wizards.
his
The
body's
wizard's
there,
room
Big
is one
Bucket
room.
body is
Yeah.
there. Your bodies will be there. I imagine it's some sort of port system you can plug in and.
Yeah. You've been there and you've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
this room.
So, thank you.
Basically, the room, the way that it typically works and these rooms work is there are like wireless ports for people to connect to. If they don't have any sort of augmentations, sorry, if you do, you can. If you don't have any augmentations, anybody can just come into the room and go into basically like a helmet, like a VR scenario that puts them into the Matrix. So even people who can't virtually typically plug in can plug in this scenario.
Gotcha. So theoretically.
And it's like a chair. It's like an assist technology chair that you can actually get in.
Gotcha.
And
Whoa.
So if
So are
the
they
t-
still?
if-
So are they still aware
they'll come
of their
through.
surroundings? Then
no, they're
the
completely.
two of
They leave their
them-
meat space body still.
So if, for example, one of the two of them were to use one of those helmets, would they have their own personal life skills in the Matrix as well, or is that
You're-
just us?
You're not sure. What you've heard is SimSense. Sometimes it depends. Depends on the technology. Depends on the quality of the technology in there. But sometimes SimSense allows you to use your physical attributes to do certain things. Sometimes it's just your mental attributes to do things. It really depends
Gotcha.
on
Okay,
the
okay,
level
okay,
of
okay,
or the quality of the
okay,
game.
okay, cool. So I think we stick with the plan as
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So
You're gonna be okay out there by
I'll
yourself?
be fine. Yeah, I'm. That's already on
Ready,
the
rock?
comms because I'm already moving out, positioning my car to the back exit, and I'm gonna go into the trunk, jump into the drone so I can survey the area around us. But I'm linked in via comms.
Okay.
right on. Very useful, that one.
Okay. So you've left into the sewer. You've gone back out. 5-10 minutes later, you're where you need to be.
Mhm.
And,
The rest of you are still in the closet.
Hey now.
Well, while that's happening, I mean, I think we need to just keep an eye on the door, make sure Bitbucket didn't like leave while he was running off, because that's 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so you crack the door and watch.
Yeah. But I say we just probably the two of us first, and then you guys stay vigilant.
Will do.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Sounds good.
All right.
Reluctant leader she is.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
all right, go.
All
Thanks,
right.
Frayne. I hear you, Frayne. Yeah, you stop revving it, Frayne.
Sorry, that was an accident.
We're trying to be
I didn't-
discreet, Frayne.
Sorry,
Is it?
God, that
thought it
you
was
just
more
like
of a purr.
A
than a
for
roar.
effort, but F for execution, mate.
Poppy, it's calm now.
All right.
All right. Okay. As you open the door, you enter into the common area of the.
Just one more, for good measure.
You open the door into the common area of the escapist den. Low lights and a lot of tapestries keep visitors feeling secluded despite their proximity in this small space. There are a few side rooms for a truly private event. Each little nook holds comfortable spots to crash and ride out a high if necessary. A variety of couches and plush chairs are clustered in two corners, and there's also a pool table in the far corner. The rear door can be seen and has a heavy-duty bar system maglock on it. A set of stairs lead up to the second floor just to your left at the back of the room. There are only a few people in here in the moment, and they seem like they're keeping to themselves.
Right. I'm just going to pull my hair forward a little bit so that it covers
Yeah.
my face a little bit more. And the wizards
Up the stairs.
doohickey up the head. Okay.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Let's go.
Just kind of sneaky up the stairs.
Yeah. Okay. As you go up the stairs, there is a landing that leads to 5 doors, just basically a hallway, like a square landing. Actually, not a hallway, square landing, and all with different purposes denoted by a name and a symbol on them. And there is, as he mentioned, a pay terminal to the left of each door.
Right. So I use my comlink, as he said. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Use my comlink.
Now, yeah. So as you start to kind of get there, the symbols that you see on each of the other doors, there is one that is the Wizard's Dungeon. It's right to your right, and it's got a SimSense symbol on it. And the price on the little thing says 50 new yen per player. And it says occupied, so there's a red light, and it says occupied in it. To the left of that, it says into the ether, and it's got a symbol of a pill. That says 100 new yen per hour. That's also occupied.
Hold the talent.
Please. Please. Maybe try some of the arms then.
And that's 100 million.
Yeah.
Right, go for it. Right.
The next one, straight ahead, says of the flesh.
Oof.
And it's the silhouette of a humanoid body.
Yeah. That one is, they say it's really great, but it's like a solid B minus.
That's 300 an hour.
Yeah.
Overpriced.
For B minus.
And it's occupied.
Of course.
Surprise, surprise.
There's a sucker born
Look,
every minute.
a lot of people like a B minus is still a passing grade to some people.
Yeah, like a Seattle B minus might be like a New York A.
Or vice versa.
Vice versa, yeah.
To the left of that, it says of the chrome, and there's the symbol of a robotic symbol below it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For those into something a little different.
Mm-hmm.
That is vacant. And the one just to your left is called the Great Escape, and there's a little symbol of a suitcase, and that's 100 an hour.
Wow.
In my experience of these rooms, are there any other entrances or exits other than the doors that we can go into by paying?
One more time.
In my experiences of these rooms in the past,
Yeah.
are there any other entrances or exits
Up here?
like for staff
Yeah.
in those rooms?
No, they're completely
It's just like
closed in.
it's just a little cubicle.
Yeah.
Now, if we were going to
There
go,
are some windows, but they're barred and
Right.
protected, and yeah.
Go.
if we were going to go into a vacant room, would we still be able to hack into the wizard's
That's what
the
I'm wondering,
wizard's
'cause there's one
dungeon
room
from
that's
there?
vacant.
Possible, not sure.
Okay.
There would be maybe some noise discrepancy because no longer are you right where it is, but you're a little further.
Might be safer, but
What's that?
it might be might be safer.
Yeah, because
but-
if what's his nuts, if Bitbucket wakes up and our meat bodies are there just
Yeah.
hanging out.
Typically with these experiences, it is a group experience, and so sometimes there's shielding in the room that is there, so that people all experience it together, and you're supposed to be paying for that experience. So there are some safeguards to make sure that everybody is together where they're supposed to be. So that somebody on the
Gotcha. All right,
street
all right,
can't
right,
just
right,
play
right,
the game.
right,
It would be a shielded,
Except
actually, it would be a
We've got-
shielded type
except our
room.
boy Earl is going to let us in and then hopefully shield us all.
Okay.
I mean, look, let's just fucking do this. I just want to go. You ready?
Now, am I able to summon Glorp now, or do I have to wait till we're
have to be
in
in
the
the Matrix.
in the Matrix in the game?
So we're all in front. So we're in the room.
You're,
So
No, no,
you're on the you're on the landing.
yeah, the landing.
Yeah, just in front of the door to the wizard's
So
dungeon.
the Wizard's Dungeon. Okay.
Right.
Before GM question.
Yeah.
When you, I think this is something we would know. When they're plugged in, can you hear what's going on outside?
No.
Everybody?
Your entire consciousness is ported into
But our
the.
But we have our
comms still
comms
work.
store because we've been
In the
using our
Matrix.
comms this whole time.
Depends on the host infrastructure and security that is within that system.
Oh fuck.
You may have to hack out, may not. But again, these are intended to be immersive gaming experiences
Right.
without those distractions, and
Right.
typically they are a closed host.
So I asked
And your own host's fine. You can
Right,
do
right,
whatever
right.
you want, but
because so I asked so the wizard and Bitbucket, their bodies presumably are in this room.
Presumably, yeah.
Plugged in.
Big buckets for sure is
For
in.
sure in there. Maybe the other one's
Yeah.
out. But so you
So-
wouldn't hear if I opened this door.
No.
Or when you guys go
No,
in.
they
Or
wouldn't.
Bitbucket wouldn't be aware of what's happening. If he is in fact
Right.
jacked into the game right now, he would not be aware.
Okay.
Does your mass invisibility work on you three, on you two, if you are like, what breaks it? You know what I mean? Just to keep you guys safe since you're in the real world.
Me being conscious.
When you
Me being
snap
awake.
to. Yeah.
Oh, when you're invisible, you are not awake?
No, I am. You said what breaks it, right?
What
When
breaks
you cast it on someone.
when you cast it on someone, like you cast it on her in the sewers?
Mhm.
Is it like a concentration thing?
It's a
Is it-
concentration thing.
Okay,
Gotcha.
gotcha. Just because I'm wondering if that might not be a great idea to
Yeah.
Well,
Visible.
go invisible for the two of you to stay invisible outside the.
Yep.
But if you
I'd bring up, are there astral sensors in here? Because those will, whether you're invisible or not, are going to tell
They'll
us that
sell
we're
it.
here.
And they're definitely
They'll
astral
Are there?
sensors.
Well, they'll tell the authorities
You know that
you're
there's
here.
all kinds of security, even
Yeah.
in the rooms with experiences that are not, whatever, that there typically
Right,
is
right.
security.
All right. Well, then we
cameras.
better go fast
let's
because
go in.
let's go fast.
As you hear the sirens outside the kind of
Ah,
passing.
shite.
And typically, I mean, there's lots of sirens in the sixth world, but now
Okay.
you guys are obviously a little bit more like
More paranoid.
Yeah,
about it.
High alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's my ride, and I'll be
Don't
back.
worry, they're not. They just went past us. I got eyes on them. Those ones are not here for
Thanks,
us.
Frayne. So guys, once we're inside, I don't know if we're going to be able to connect with you.
15
Keep it-
minutes.
Just get the door open.
15 minutes.
15
You got
minutes.
15 minutes, or they'll pull you out.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
We might as well. Is it with the helmet thingies? Is there a pro or a con to going helmets versus?
Yeah, so typically if you're jacked directly in, so you guys and you can attach wirelessly because you have augmentations. You can always access the Matrix wirelessly, even in VR.
Mm-hmm.
That's always safer. If something goes wrong, biofeedback, things like that, you're not as connected.
Yeah.
If you jack in, you get bonuses. If you go into your head jack, you get bonuses to a bunch of things as it dictates. But you also are more susceptible to certain things. And so those that just put the helmet on are just going basically like you would if you were going wirelessly, and it's not as dangerous as if you were to jack directly into a data jack or something like
All
that.
right. Well. All right.
So, yeah.
All right.
Let's go inside. So I use my comm link and
Yep.
do the magic. Do
Yep.
that Earl said.
Yeah.
Goes green, door unlocks, and you go in.
I'm sliding.
All right.
And you see my eyes roll back.
Yeah.
And I'm in.
Oh, so they're just going into the room. You're just going into
I'm
the
just going
actual
into the room.
where
Oh, just
I
into
wanna
the
see
room.
what's in the
Okay,
room.
okay.
not yet
Gotcha.
into the
Yeah.
A 10 by 10 foot room lined with 6 cushioned armchairs with built-in assist interfaces exist in the room. The room is decorated with over-the-top medieval fantasy paraphernalia, including prop swords and costume armor. A burly orc sits comfortably in a chair with a dumb grin on his face, his eyes fluttering rapidly under his lids. And you can see, obviously, Bitbucket there, but there are 6 chairs, him in one of them.
Is there anybody else in the room?
No.
Has he got any belongings with him?
Just what he has on his body. So you can see there's a weapon on his side. He's got a bag slung to one side.
What's
No.
the weapon?
Yeah. If someone were to.
Yep. In the comms, take a shit while he's not awake.
I'm on it.
Bitbucket is actually in the Anarchy book. So I will show you
Really?
exactly what he looks like.
Oh.
If we had done our homework, we would have known who he was.
Yeah.
Not going to tell you that.
No. But now I know. Just kidding. Study all those NPCs.
I could've
Now we
cheated
know where to
this
search
whole
in the
time.
Matrix.
What's that?
Now we know where to search in the Matrix for Bitbucket.
Maybe I've researched already and know his entire stat block.
Maybe you do. Maybe you do.
You'll know if you can just punch your face out.
that would be so not fun.
He's here. I promise. There. That's what Bitbucket looks like.
Wow.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. He's kind of
That's
well for an
Bitbucket.
orc.
So he's an orc. He's got some braids
It's all about
in his
respect.
hair, but he's dressed kind of like in a punk sort of, almost like a Native American punk kind of style.
Wow.
So it's like punk with like lots of beads and a mismatch of. He's wearing these earrings with like beads with like shells on the bottom of them.
Interesting.
What is he?
He's eclectic.
What is he carrying? What weapon?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question.
What was he carrying? Because he's been disarmed.
Yeah, because we are about to pilfer all
Well, I'm
of
gonna
those.
try with my newfound stealth skills.
Yeah,
So
and
he
also-
was wearing. He's carrying an Ares Predator 6,
Oh shit!
which is a pretty
Yes.
standard
So we'll
pistol.
take that.
He's also carrying a survival knife. And you can see on his belt, he's got an electronics toolkit. He's got his comlink in a pocket.
Definitely take the comlink.
Yeah. Should hack the
You can
comlink.
feel me?
He's got a data.
We can feel or see anything when he's hacked.
Yeah, he's got a data jack and hardware. Obviously, that is clearly implanted in his head. He's got some stim patches,
Take those.
which heal stun damage,
Oh, I need some.
Ooh,
Yeah.
take those.
Do I need some? Yeah.
and that is all that is on him.
Great. So
Okay, yoink all of that.
yeah, can we relieve him of all his items, particularly starting with the most dangerous ones?
Yep.
But we could totally try to see who else he's been in contact with the
Comlink?
comlink.
Comlink.
Yeah.
That's a you thing, right?
So
You guys.
can we just take a look at the comlink like a cell phone?
Yeah, before, yeah.
It's locked with a password and
Gotta
face
hack into
ID
it.
and all that.
How hard is
kind
it
of
for a hacker to hack into the password? Do I have to do like a God test thing?
stuff. Yeah, you would have to do a hacking
And
check.
would that alert him based on
That probably would if I fail.
with us?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just take
we'll
it with
just
us.
yeah.
We know he's in there with the wizard, right? Well, we
I think
assume
so.
it. If he's by himself, he might have already met with the wizard, and now I mean, look at his big dumb face. He's smiling, and his eyes are rolled back in his head. He might have taken something else for pay, if you know what I
He could be
mean.
watching the news.
Whatever
now.
conversation he's having with the wizard, we're missing it.
Well, let's
Yeah.
go. In we go. In
Okay.
I go.
Yeah.
Right. And are you sitting in one of the chairs but connecting wirelessly?
Wireless.
Okay, because every cyber deck's got like a cord that you can kind of
Right.
pull out and plug into things, and so you can plug in or you can go wirelessly. if
But
you'd
the
rather.
plugging in is the one that.
That makes you more susceptible, but you get bonuses based on your data jack. Yeah.
Okay.
But people, like the world, would know.
What do you mean by
Maybe.
the world would know?
We'll leave a signature.
We
of
have to
some
leave a
sort.
signature.
Only if you hack. Only
But-
time you leave a
but we
signature
also
is
have
if you
Glorp.
hack.
Well, we will
It's
soon
just
have Glorp.
it's just like hardlining into something rather than connecting wirelessly. Hardlining is just much more strong,
Yeah.
but you're
Right.
more susceptible to potential problems
Like
if there
jolts
are.
of some sort.
But that won't affect your God score at all. It's only when you hack, actively trying to.
We're not
hack.
hacking right
Oh,
now.
so we're not
Yeah, no.
hacking. We
Plugging
can
in.
just
No,
plug in.
you're
We can
just
go in.
playing a game.
I can go in
you're just
wirelessly
playing a
without
game.
rolling
Yeah.
dice.
We're all set up.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna
game
go
then,
in
yeah.
wirelessly, but still sit on that comfy chair. 'Cause-
Yeah, me too.
Well, and everything for you is
Me
wireless.
too.
You don't plug into anything. You
Yeah,
just kinda
Yeah,
like,
she just uses her brain.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
jealous.
Okay, so he is in the far left chair, and there are 6 chairs. Where do you guys want to be?
I want to. How close is he? The closest to the door? Or
Yeah, he's in the chair closest to the door, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this room.
6 is also closest to the door, but on
Yeah.
the other side.
Oh, then I'll take 6 on the other side.
So
5
yeah,
on the other
5.
side. Okay, and who else is in the room? You two are in the room.
Yes.
With them. Okay, door closes. It links. You guys enter into the game. Everything goes black for a moment, and then the lights kind of start to come up, or the area that you're in begins to apparate and appear. The
So-
first thing you notice is the distant sound of dripping water. As your senses start to come to, you notice a dank, mildewy, dead air type smell. You look down at your feet, and that's the first thing you notice, and your feet currently are standing on stone. Rough-hewn stones that as you look around, you are in a stone cavern of sorts, a hallway that leads out. You look behind you, and there is a crumbled like there has been a cave-in for the area or the place that you've come from. Big boulders have come in and closed the passage behind you. Ahead of you, you see that the hallway basically stretches and then opens up into a slightly larger chamber. And then you start to look at yourself, and the icons that you typically have in the Matrix are a little different. Liv, you look and you're wearing kind of what you were wearing before, but like made of like supple, thicker leather. All tight fitting. You can tell that you have like a hood around you. You have a sword at your side, and you also have a hand crossbow that is like slung kind of across your back. And as you look at yourself and then you look at Trigger, you are wearing what looks like holy vestments of some sort, like ceremonial vestments.
And I just laugh at you.
I'm laughing too. I'm like, really?
There is a large sunburst on your chest.
Of all the people.
And you are carrying in your hand a staff, it appears, and you have also a light crossbow sort of slung over your back. You look at each other, and you've clearly taken on classic TTRPG tropes for your archetypes.
Right. Well, I suppose if we were going to meet a wizard, we couldn't be wizards ourselves, could we?
True.
I'm starting to wonder if we should have one of our mates join us.
Above your heads,
Maybe.
you see pop up a little health bar
Huh?
that appears over each of you.
Right?
You are player 6, you are player 5, based on where you sat in the room. It says player 6.
Okay.
It also has your names above
Oh, shit.
that.
Oh, that's not good.
That appears. Whatever name it is that you have in your comlink, whatever fake sin that is.
Yeah,
So whatever
yeah.
alias you use when you do stuff, it
Okay.
wouldn't say trigger and live.
Okay.
It would say whatever alias you use when you make transactions.
Right.
And clearly, you are classic elven rogue, and you are like classic dwarf cleric. And that's kind of like the feeling that you have in this game.
Right. Well, I guess I don't feel very comfortable in these, but let's keep moving.
Do you think we can get like turkey legs here, like those big ones?
Priorities, mate. Priorities.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if we're supposed to look the part, I'm just saying.
Can we see any? What was that voice?
Nothing.
Is that the wizard? Hello?
Cut to me trying to.
Although we should get
Yeah.
we should get Glorp in here.
Oh yeah.
Hey Glorp, time to clock in, buddy. And you just see poofs into the
You
game.
see
He can't move.
Oh shit. Well,
Well, I guess we didn't do anything illegal, so we're not worrying about God.
true. And that's a fake name for me. That's you're good. We're good?
I think we're good, but I think it's just us in here. I don't think we can get any help, and I don't think we can call for help.
That's not good. Do you think we should try to do
Pop
it the
out and
other
grab
way?
someone?
Or how do you plug in whatever normal people do in this situation?
I don't know. I hate making decisions.
You're supposed to be the lead.
Don't you dare! I'm gonna. Give me a second. I'm gonna pop out for a second.
Whoa, what are you doing?
you try and you can't.
Oh.
Fuck's sake.
And you realize in this moment that sometimes there are hosts that cause you to be link locked, and you have been link locked.
Oh no.
What's happening?
And at this point, you kind of try to pop out, and you're like, she kind of like, you glitch out and you come back in, and you look at each other, and above her head it says live, and above your head it says trigger.
Oh shit.
Right. Well, mate, we've done what we've done. Let's go find this fucking wizard.
Can I just take my crossbow and try to shoot at it?
Yeah. It goes, Yeah.
I'm just looking around. Do we see any? What's the way forward?
Yeah,
How-
so the way forward, what you see is you are in basically like a 5 foot hallway, clearly in some sort of medieval fantasy dungeon. It extends about 10 feet ahead and opens up into a larger room that you can see the back wall. That back wall is 25 feet ahead of you, but you can see that it opens up into a room, and there are torches in that room in the corners. You can see that are kind of casting this warm glow in that room.
Do I get any sense in my holy vestments that I have any kind of a power?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you start to, you can tell that you actually have kind of the abilities that you had in life in here. And so as you kind of do this, you feel this warmth kind of radiate from your inner essence. And it almost feels like the Matrix is your god. Like that is where you draw your power from in this place. With you, it's physical stuff. It's not taking your technomancer sort of essence into consideration, it seems. You are the quiet, stealthy type with a sword and with your hand crossbow
Which
and that sort
tracks.
Yeah.
Right. All right, mate. Mate, Bricks. Let's go forward.
Question. While they're moving forward, how much time in our world has passed?
As much time as in their world has passed. So I'd say 5 minutes at this point.
Got
you guys
it.
have
I'm
been
gonna
talking
ask
and looking.
regularly, because I'm going to pay attention to that 15 minutes.
Sure. It's been about 5 minutes.
What happens if 15 minutes go by? They come in.
We better go fast. Let's go.
But what if we all get stuck in here?
I don't think they're coming in. I think they're getting us out.
Got it. Oh, that was the situation.
That was the
thought.
plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
All right. So we
Put my hood
go
up.
forward.
Put up your hood.
Get everything at the ready.
Okay, cool. And you're who's leading? Marching order for the two of you.
If I'm sneaky, let me try to sneak ahead a little bit. Just but
Sneaky as we can
not
be in here.
but not by much, just so that we don't lose each
All right,
other.
stealth checks then.
Woof.
If you're sneaking.
I do not have stealth. What do I roll? Double agility?
Yes.
Stealth.
So I guess about 10 minutes I would try and
4, 5, 6,
reach
7,
out to
8,
them via
9,
Sure.
10.
But we are
plus
I'll let you know when it hits
2.
10.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have readied actions at every 5-minute increment.
Boo.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
And then
am
right
going
now in
to,
the room, it just seems like everything's.
I am going to
They're just
burn
lying
an
there.
edge to re-roll all of my
Okay.
which was all of them.
I'm going to do the same thing because I
Separately,
don't
because-
trust any of this going on right now.
Okay, that's not as bad. Okay, and since these are non-cybercom, oh no. Does this work with exploit, or do I just, since I'm in a program, can I use one of my
You
programs?
can absolutely try to hack if you want to try to do that. Yes.
Well, I just mean, can I use?
You get the sense that in this place, using one of your programs would be like praying to your god.
Oh.
And so basically, you have to ask for help from whatever deity.
Hello, tracking deity. Can I re-roll 2 of these? I'm going to.
And
Let
so
me know
as
if I
you do
can.
that, you're kind of sending out your I don't want to say holy sense, but you're
Yeah,
basically casting out some sort of astral, not astral, divine sense. Thank you very much. To kind of get a sense of what's going on.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I've got 4.
Okay.
4 out of 6 is not bad.
4.
That's good.
And what exactly are you attempting to do, just so I understand the intricacy?
Well, we did our in
stealth
the sense,
checks.
It was like the stealthy. That's
Yeah.
why I wasn't sure if I could use my track.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were
doing-
trying to access something. I apologize.
No,
you were
we're
just
doing
trying to stealth.
Stealth check.
Well, yeah, that was a stealth check.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was just what it is in real life.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I apologize.
In that case, let's see if I have anything else. Can I use my exploit program to have gotten these 2? Because it was a non-cyber combat hack.
You can try and exploit the sensors that you think might be in here, so that they don't detect you. That's kind of cool.
But I can't do it.
But it would
in
be
the-
a hack situation. But you can try to do that. It would be a separate roll.
Oh, okay.
So you
never
could be
mind.
like, I want to try and move quietly, but I
So I
also want
can't-
to kind of block them from.
So I can't use these 2 rerolls on this stuff.
No, I would just take the edge back and,
All right.
and
I'll
yeah.
take the edge back and take
Yeah.
my 2.
Yeah, and so yeah, if you want to manipulate the construct in
Oh, wait,
anywhere,
wait. No. I re-rolled all of them and got 2 6s, and then I did. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so I've got 2 stealth.
Okay.
8.
All right. 8. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah. As you go, this is your jam. You're in armor, and so it's clinking a little bit, but you're trying to be as quiet as possible.
Sorry, man. I didn't choose where this.
You step into a chamber that is about 10 by 10 feet, and it looks like a mix of rough-hewn stone and then rough-hewn blocks that make up this chamber. You hear the faint sound of rushing wind coming from left to right through the corridors. So there is a corridor that goes to the right, corridor that goes to the left, and the corridor behind you that you know has caved in. You can see that the corridors on the left and right go about 20 feet, and then they dip to, one dips to the left, and this one dips to the right. So they head in further to wherever you are.
Left or right?
The air absolutely feels heavy in here, even though there's a slight rushing of wind. And then before you, as you step in, about 10 feet from you, you see that there is a crackle of energy. And you hear the surging, thunderous rumble, a surging, thunderous rumble as it rolls across this chamber. Smoke begins to billow and swirl as the image of what appears to be a graying, wise, and powerful wizard appears before you.
Welcome, intrepid adventurers. I understand that you are on a quest of the utmost importance. To clear your names and no longer be banished from the realm of shadows. To accomplish this, you must seek out the truth. Prove to me that you did not do what you have been accused of, and I shall gladly clear your name. Do it not, and you will remain here in my dungeon forever. Cheat or try and break my rules, and you will suffer for it. I'm looking at you, dwarf. Good luck. You'll be needing it.
So
As that happens, it goes, and the apparition of the wizard goes away.
So, point of note, we were framed for doing something, but we did sort of do something. I mean, we did break into the apartment. We just didn't take whatever data it was that that person had on their data bank.
Right.
So we just have to prove that we didn't take that data. We just have to prove that we weren't the ones who took it.
You actually don't know what you were framed of doing.
Yeah,
You don't know what you actually don't know what was placed.
That's where I just realized that, like, can I access my information that we downloaded right now?
You can try. So as you bring it up, you still have access to general search functions, but you get a message that comes up beside it. Like you get your AR kind of shows up in your cyber eye, and you start to look through it, and then a little warning comes up in the corner. It says that basically like you are wrecking immersion. To get the most of this gameplay experience, stay off your phones. Or stay off, your comm link.
Well, does that count as breaking his rules or not?
Well, he didn't specifically state it. I don't think how we broke anything yet.
Okay.
And so you're able to access the information, so you have
great.
it. But it's just a reminder, like, stay off,
cool.
to get the most of this experience.
Right. So what is the information that we stole?
So the information that you stole was that, let me get that
Because I
completely
feel
straight.
like we looked at it before and I just completely spaced out.
Yeah.
Didn't I? It was right at the beginning of episode one.
The data that you retrieved, that you were excommunicated from the Shadowrun community for double-crossing one of the Big 10 corporations. You don't know what it was that you were told that you actually did. General prices on your heads were 50,000 each, and you, taking a deeper level look, a mark was left behind in the matrix from
Bitbucket.
So
if we can prove that Bitbucket
has the mark and
had
not
the
us.
mark and stashed all my shit in there.
Yeah, we should show him the mark.
I mean, yeah, that's something that we can show easily, right? Like we can show that we have the mark was there.
potentially.
Unless Bitbucket cleared it up somehow.
It should still be there, right?
It should still be there. They can't get rid of a mark unless you. That's all we have to show, right? That it was Bitbucket.
He said you have to prove your innocence in some way.
Our mark's not on the file.
Mine is, but after Bitbucket, right?
Yeah, it would be.
All right. So, in this game, that wizard said that we have to prove ourselves. In this game, in this madness.
Okay.
So, don't know where we show it to him. All right, wizard, we're here. I can show you that the big, ugly orc who's also in here was the one who put his mark in your apartment or whatever. I don't.
Maybe you should make him go try to prove that he was innocent.
No answer.
Does this stay working?
10 minutes now.
I hear ya.
You've hit 10 minutes.
Okay.
I hear you. You hear them?
I don't. I'm coming back.
Ladies? Ladies,
while I've been surveying outside, have I noticed any activity, any Lone Star patrolmen heading in our direction?
Nothing.
I'm going to return to where they are with my drone.
Okay. And so you're going to go back to the sewer entrance, head down the sewer, come up
through all that muck again.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm getting my steps in.
Yeah, you come up into the closet. You crack the closet a little bit. You do see Earl kind of at his desk in the corner of the big common area, and you kind of are able to step in. Where do you go? Go upstairs?
I'm going upstairs. I'm going to go into the room that they're in.
Okay. You go up to the room. You hear a knock. The door opens. You see what's going on right now. And
I don't have a good feeling about this. I don't like that we can't communicate with them and they can't communicate out. I trust that Trigger would have been able to hack whatever that is to be able to at least share some of what's going on in there.
I agree.
And I watch with them.
Okay. All right. Anything else you guys want to do outside in meat space?
Well, I think when he comes into the room, we have that moment, and I'm going to step out of the room, and because I'm thinking, yeah, we've been double crossed enough for my liking. So I'm gonna watch Earl. I'm gonna watch the door. I'm gonna watch everything. Close enough to you that if something happens and you need me in the room, I'll get in the room. But I want to watch the entrance and make sure that we're not snuck up upon.
Yeah, but inside the room, you're just kind of watching the door.
No, I'm outside the door.
So you want to be kind of on the landing to make sure
Yes.
that nobody comes up the stairs. Okay, cool. All right.
I'll smoke. I'm taking a smoke break outside.
Sure.
So we're about 10, 11 minutes in now.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
All right. I guess he's not.
Actually, I'm gonna say, you having to you said 10 minutes. You having to take your
You're going
come
away,
down.
that's all.
You'd be at 15 minutes when you get into the room.
So it's time to get.
And they're not, yeah, get them out. All right, fuck it. I'm going to try to get her out.
Okay. How do you want to do that?
Pulling her. I mean, how would I know to pull someone back
from
this?
If she's connected wirely, there's nothing to unplug. You can try and shake them.
They're both wireless, right?
Yeah, they're both wireless. So you can try and shake them awake. You can, if there was a hacker there, they could try and hack the system to get them to release.
This runs
But
on
pulling
power.
somebody out forcefully
Turn the power
sometimes
off.
out of the matrix will cause biofeedback and issues.
Maybe
Potentially.
they just need more time. Maybe they just need 3 more minutes.
Yeah, but we don't know. They could be stuck in there. We got no fucking idea.
Smack. Does that do anything?
No. It hurts her face and she does this.
We got to go in with them. If they're stuck in there, we're out here. I mean, I don't know.
What happens if Bitbucket wakes up before we do?
Oh, fuck. Okay. One of you go in, I'll stay out here with whoever decides to stay with me. Shit. Or both of you go in, I'll be out here.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm doing no good out here. I don't deal with technology.
Okay, go in.
How many seats are left?
3.
There's
3.
3 seats left?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 6-person game.
You sure?
It's up to you. You call it. You want to stay out here? You go into it.
Are we at 18 minutes yet? Are we at 20 minutes yet?
You're at about 17.
I shake you. I shake her.
Yeah,
Nothing?
you start to shake her. Nothing.
Fuck it. I'm going in. You're coming with me or not? Oh,
Okay.
no.
So
I don't
you
have to do that.
You just you lie down. You put the visor on, and then it puts you in.
Yeah. I'm going in full.
Yep. Reality kind of blinks out, and you appear again in this entrance hallway. You look down the hallway, and you see the two of them standing there, but they don't quite look like they did. Obviously, they're icons: dwarven cleric, elven rogue.
I look at myself.
Yeah, you kind of start to look at yourself, and you notice that first thing you notice is you're wearing an apron, which has oil and dirt stains on it, over what appear to be kind of adventuring clothing. You have crude tools protruding from pouches in and around you, and you appear to be some sort of artificer of sorts.
Okay.
If you have like a fantasy, medieval fantasy artificer.
Of some sort.
Perched on your shoulder is a little mechanical owl that kind of turns around and dances, which is the representation of your drone in this construct.
Amazing.
You have a heavy crossbow strapped to your back.
I sit for a moment waiting to see if anyone joins me.
What do you guys do standing outside?
Delivery of 5 minutes. I'm pointing at
Yeah.
Freight.
Hold on.
Hmm?
Frick. All right, here's what we're gonna do. You patch in. I'm taking that body, pit bucket, and I'm putting him in the car. I'm gonna lock him in the car. And then
I
I'm
can
gonna
hear
come back.
you.
That he's in. He's in.
Yeah, he's already checked in.
Yep,
Just me.
I'm in. But you
He's
know
in
where
there.
my car is.
But we know enough about technology to know that if he tried ripping him out of the seat, that between me and him, a magic user and a adept, that ripping them out would dump shock him.
So that's part of the So if he gets far enough away from the host, there's a chance that he will be dumped out of the matrix, which could cause major psychological damage, or at the very least, suffer biofeedback.
And that's common knowledge.
And that's fairly common knowledge, especially when you're full VR.
I can close the...
1 second. I'm gonna open the door. I'm gonna go to Earl. I'm gonna take out another $500. I think it's my last 500 yen. I'm gonna put it on the table. I'm gonna say, we have a little bit of a snafu in there. Okay. If anything gets froggy, you fucking jump. You hear me? You come get us. You turn the power off. You pull us out.
All right. How long?
An hour tops.
An hour. All right. From now?
An hour from now, no.
All right.
Yes, an hour from now.
An hour from now. Okay. All right.
Listen, I like these people. Don't let anything
No, I like Trigger too. I don't know all of you, but this has been a very lucrative experience, so I will absolutely take care of you.
You're right. I'm Rio.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Earl.
Nice to meet you too, Earl. Yeah, all right. Let's go.
Okay, you guys jump in?
Oh, I don't like this.
And you guys can decide if you've gone into full VR before at some point in your lives, or how you
I
feel
think
about
I've avoided it. I don't like this.
I think I even imagine at your home you have like an old school,
I got a
Nintendo
table.
console.
I got PlayStation 5. That was released in the old-
And it's ancient by this point. Yeah, exactly.
I look at the last scene and I just go, fucking.
Yeah. All right. During this time, because some time has passed, you manage to get up with them and you start to kind of look around. I'm assuming you bring him up to speed on the wizard situation and what the wizard said.
They're on their way, I swear.
Okay. As you kind of finish explaining that, behind you, you hear kind of a disturbance and you all come into it. Rio, you look down at yourself and you notice that there are tribal markings and tattoos that kind of cover your entire body. And you're dressed in loose-fitting clothing, kind of befitting your heritage and your lineage. You are some sort of ancestral warrior of sorts. You feel the crackle of energy as if you could still manifest your astral weapons in this space, and that's how you do damage. But you're akin to what people would imagine would be a human monk of sorts.
All right.
You look over at Blaze. I love you, Talon. And he is in like 80s era medieval fantasy movie tight-fitting patch leather clothing, and he is shirtless.
What?
And he has like leather straps that kind of go around. You don't have any sort of staff or anything like that, but you look like an elf sorcerer. But like you've got like crazy like 80s hair that like is back in like a huge mane, and you got like
Am I just now the magical Fabio Flintstone?
Yeah, you look like you stepped out of like Labyrinth.
All of a sudden you're David Bowie.
Yeah, he looks like that's basically.
What story about the babe? What babe?
I like this.
Yeah, and as you look at your hands, you can feel the smoldering of the fire as if that is the source of your power in this game. All of you have names above your heads. They are your Shadowrun and monikers and aliases. You step up forward. You all meet. I'm assuming you tell them about what the wizard said and what is involved in that whole thing and what your potential quest is. At that moment, you do hear some footsteps from the hallway to the right.
It could be Bitbucket.
You hear of some language you don't understand, and that is where we're going to end the session.
Oh, man.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Again, if you want to win a Anarchy book, Six World is what we're giving away this episode. Six World book. Put in Excommunication into the chat, EXCOMMUN ICATION.
There we go.
Yay.
Wow. Every episode. And your chance to win. Catalyst will send you one of those. Do it twice and you will be disqualified. Once again, the pledge manager for Takedown should be live right now. Go check it out as your opportunity to get the Shadowrun Takedown board game.
We're going to use this time to recover from the image of a hot monk just appearing in the middle. We're both...
And a hot
When David Bowie shows up, I'm dressed like this. This is not how I wanted to meet them.
Hey, listen, I'm all greased up, so
Yeah,
I'm doing pretty okay.
This is not my fantasy.
It's close to mine, though.
It is today. It is today. That is awesome. Make sure that you stick around on the Catalyst YouTube channel for the after show, where we take a deep dive in the back of the scenes, into behind the scenes information and stuff about this series. We'll love you guys. Take care of each other. If you like what you saw tonight, consider subscribing and liking and all that fun stuff. And we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.
Shadowrunner.
Hello! Gosh, you guys, isn't it such a surprise? You totally didn't know it was me because I was hidden in my super cool Shadowrun ninja wear.
Oh, getting a little, there we go.
Sorry. That's my fault.
No worries. We had a merch giveaway on stream today, and Anjali was the lucky winner of the. It was actually a cage match that happened right after that episode was filmed.
Yeah, I was fighting everybody because I was so angry about me being the cleric. Like everybody else gets hot, gets hot avatars, and I show up in fucking robes. Come on.
That's usually how I am.
You want to give Trigger a break.
It's usually how I am with the bard. I'm a bard in real life. I never want to play a bard when I'm playing.
I actually love playing bards. I do. My dog's character is a bard.
Oh.
But I guess we're not talking about D&D. We're talking about Shadowrun.
We are, and you can get your hoodie. We had so much merch to talk about today. You can get yours at store.catalystgamelabs.com. And there is even a discount where you can get 15% off your purchase at the online store with the promo code Realmsmith.
Look how much hair this hoodie can contain, you guys.
It's a
all of it.
It's a lot
in this.
I love the pull-up piece. Like, I can't wait to get mine.
I actually was just thinking how great this would be on airplanes.
Right?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. But my hair's going away. It's driving me nuts. So yes, give them the. I'm sorry, I interrupted the code.
The code?
The code. You said that there's a discount happening.
Oh yeah, just Realmsmith on the store at store.catalystgamelabs.com. If you type in promo code Realmsmith, you get 15% off. Yay!
Yay! How cool is that? Yay!
I love that you just discovered you were the healer of the group.
Well, it's not that I didn't know I had healing capabilities. It's that I didn't realize I was the one with the most, I guess. I didn't realize I was the cleric of the group, so to speak. I knew, and I also didn't quite understand. I admit I didn't quite understand that stat was essentially healing everywhere. So live and learn. First Shadowrun game. It's a first Shadowrun campaign, I should say.
I think everyone in chat would agree that you're doing awesome with your first.
Well, thank you. That's very kind. I think
I know so much credit goes to, obviously so much credit goes to our GM, Jason, because the way that he created this universe, and the way that he melded Anarchy and Sixth World, and then a little bit of home, like the way he created this made it so much more conducive for people who have never had any experience in this experience, and
Yeah.
experience in this game.
Right.
And really, the world of this game is so cool. You want to be able to jump into it right away. And I love that there's an opportunity to do so through Anarchy. I'm hoping everybody who is watching is seeing, like, I promise you, I did not read the books. I was a student, because normally I'm going to read all the books and bone up before I start. And I opened up the books and I was like, no time, got no time right now. No time, gotta go. And I wish I had read them beforehand, but I didn't need to be able to play. And especially with the people that we were playing with, who really just, everybody's together to tell a good story and have fun.
Yeah.
Well,
One of the
RPGs should be about.
One of the many things that I love about Shadowrun is, I've been playing for 7 years now, and it can be intimidating, not only because the rule system is known for being crunchy, but also because you've got 35 years of lore, and it's like, oh God, what if I'm behind?
Yeah.
And the thing that I love is that every time you come to the table, you can learn a little bit more. And I really liked in today's episode how Jason was like, the Big 10 mega corporations, like,
Yeah,
let's
I'll break it down for you.
history time.
Yeah, exactly, big old lore dump, which is so
Yeah.
great. And yes, you can get it in the books, and you should go to use your code and go buy the books, because they are really, actually, they are very cool. And after we shot, I did start to really read them, and the reason I wished that I had read them was because they're actually very enjoyable to read, and there are fun stories in there, and the backstory is really cool and stuff. I lost my train of thought, so never mind.
Yeah,
It's really fun.
the lore alone, and Jason also got to talk a little bit about some of the mega corporations and their involvement in certain things, and what they do with, like, social media or CFD, or who's behind the weapons, and who's behind all these different locations and what they do. And then that there are dragons that are shapeshifters, that are CEOs of corporations and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. So
it's so cool. It's so cool, the amalgam of sort of a Blade Runner world and a fantasy fiction world. Like that combination is so stunning to me. Yeah, I don't know where you can get that combo platter anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's very, 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 very cool. And we talked a little bit about this last week. I like that because of the lore being the way it is, it does seem like this could be 100 years from now, this could be 1,000 years from now, this could be 2 years from now. We really don't know.
Yeah.
In real life, like, it feels like that. Obviously, there are dates that are set in the lore.
Right.
But,
Right.
It feels very possible.
Yeah.
In a not great way, but also in a great way for the game. Great way for the game, not in a great way for the world. It feels very, very much like something that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, the role playing becomes a little bit more invested.
And for our lore lovers, I'll be killed by John Helfers if I don't mention this. There is currently a humble bundle of Shadowrun Legends fiction. So, like, some of the really old books that have some of the legendary characters of Shadowrun are available on Humble Bundle right now. So pay what you want and get a ton of fiction. So that's pretty cool.
I want Humble Bundle to be the name of my next character. That's like Humble Bundle the Gnome.
You're such a humble bundle.
Great name. Humble Bundle, yeah, that could also be a nickname for someone who is just too humble. You're just such a humble bundle. So cute.
Awesome.
So, you guys, we had some crazy stuff happen in this episode.
Yeah. I know that you and Luis last week were chomping at the bit to talk about some of the altercation at the beginning, which our audience noticed that tension.
So, full disclosure, my loves, both Luis and I thought that happened in last week's episode. So we were, like, dribbling out little things of letting people know that, like,
trust us, no friendships were harmed in the making of this episode. And I loved being in the chat with you guys today and seeing the reaction to it, because it feels oddly suited in this world in a way that it doesn't necessarily feel like it has been something that made sense in other game systems that I've played. But and this is what Luis and I wanted very much to convey last week and online and wherever, is that just because it's suited to the world doesn't mean it's suited to the players. And you really, whenever you're playing any kind of role-playing game, really, really, really need to check in with each other, check in with your game master, make sure that everybody knows above board, everybody knows where their boundaries are, whatever systems you use to let people know, hey, the line has been crossed. Jason did a great job of that, and thankfully Luis and I are dear friends, and we were like, what line? We don't have a line. There's no line to cross. Don't worry about it. But we even we checked in a lot before and after moments like that.
Yeah.
At the breaks, at the wherever, you and even you can see us in between scenes and stuff. We can see all of us checking in with each other, writing notes to each other. It's not all about like, hey, do you think Rio's doing this thing? Like sometimes it's taking care of each other at the table. And the only reason we're writing it down is because we're not at our home game. We're doing this game with you guys in mind. So we don't want to break the flow of things.
Yeah.
But
it's fascinating to watch. From we've all had home games, right? That have that tension that is not an appropriate way of handling player versus player, and hurt feelings can often happen at the table and stuff. So it was just so interesting to be able to watch that in a professional atmosphere where you guys were working together and checking in with each other and bouncing off each other, but in a way that for your audience was so realistic. And let's face it, there's a reason reality TV is a thing. People love drama. So to be able to see those altercations happen, but then see them handled in a way off screen that's very supportive and professional and stuff like that is really cool.
And that's just it, is that because most viewers are not going to get to see those moments off screen. And I also think for all players especially, but also game masters and dungeon masters, even though I have not essayed that role because I'm terrified to, check in with yourself. Because sometimes, and I hate to genderize things, but sometimes for women especially, sometimes the instinct is to say like, no, I'm fine, everything's fine. And to diminish when something actually is upsetting or triggering or whatever. And this is a safe space to check in with yourself and be free to talk about, hey, this is a boundary in a gentle way, in a respectful way. This is a boundary I don't want crossed. This is a topic I don't want to talk about. This is whatever it is. I cry red flag, whatever it is. I think it's important to know your own bottom lines.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll discover them in game too.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't even know a line has been crossed until it gets crossed, and then you're like, whoa.
I don't like that.
Yeah, can we take a pause here? Because I'm actually having a thing. I'm having a reaction. And that happens, that happens on film sets, that happens all over the place. That happens, actors go through that a lot. And just being honest about where you are is really important for your own, it's a game, you want to be having fun. And sometimes even the altercations are super fun, but then as soon as it switches from being fun to being something that is affecting you in a not great way, just keep checking in with yourself, check in with like I said, check in with everybody at the table. It's always
awesome.
Always but it sure was fun for this one.
So speaking of boundaries, some in-character boundaries got crossed during this episode. So let's talk about that altercation from the inside with player perspective. So looking back on it now and kind of rewatching it, what do you think is the essence of what happened between you two, between Trigger and Frayne today?
I could tell you very easily from Trigger's viewpoint. I can't necessarily obviously tell you from Frane's, but from Trigger's point of view, this man who's like, no secrets, no secrets, no secrets, just spilled a bunch of people's personal shit. And as soon as he started talking about Liv, that was the line for me. Because in that previous episode, I'd sat there and watched two characters open up, and knowing what Trigger has inside her and does not or did not share at that moment. She values her privacy in a world where everything can be hacked. And I think of Liv as so much the like young beating heart of this crew. You know, I feel like Rio is the bleeding heart of the crew, but she is the young, like, she could have had a very different life. She very well could have had a very different life, and she ended up in this one. And Trigger, when I heard her story that night, definitely clocked that she could have escaped all of this. And I don't know if the rest of us could have, but she could have. And so it was, I don't want to say a big sister, but it was definitely like it was more about someone else's privacy than it was necessarily about my own.
Sure.
Or Trigger's own. And Trigger is she has the character, her style is to blow up. So it's very easy for her to come in hot and be like, hey, this is the boundary, don't fuck it up, what's wrong with you, blah 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 blah. And sometimes that's a little too much of a hammer. And apparently it was this time.
And as Frayne explained it, it was almost like, I'm yelling at you because you're yelling at me. Like
yeah, which is so interesting because sometimes that happens in real life, right?
Yeah.
When you're in a fight and all of a sudden someone's yelling at you and you're like, I'm just going to yell louder because I don't know what else to do.
Right.
Although I get quieter. It was a very interesting reaction that I did not expect. I did not expect him to double down, which is why it was even more of a cool conflict. I didn't expect him to double down and be like, yeah, I told him all your private stuff. What's the problem? And yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there that I can't unpack without giving away stuff later.
Sure.
But this thread continues.
Yeah, and I do have to say there's one
not even this thread, but this dynamic.
Yes. And the one funny part of the fight that I always think about and have to bring up is that you are on him about privacy.
And I just hacked into his
invading the privacy of his call.
Believe me, I know. And I was amazed that no one brought that up, including and I was prepared for it. Because I was very prepared for him to be like, what do you mean you hacked into my call? I'm like, well, we got no secrets, right? So why shouldn't I hack into your call? You don't have, I'm not allowed to have secrets from you, so what's the problem?
Oh, man, I really want to
That's where the whole thing was, this whole sense of like, don't hide things from me. You're not my family. Like that whole conversation in the previous episode really kind of like did kind of a number on me, because the concept of you can't have secrets from me, but you're not my family. Trust is earned.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to tell you my secrets until I trust you.
Yeah, and you're all in a situation where it's like you're being hunted.
Any one of us could also be the person who caused it.
It's true.
Any one of us or any one of the people that we have already met and put our lives in their hands could absolutely be the reason it's happening.
And that's part of what I love about Shadowrun versus like D&D, where it's like, we're a party now and we're gonna go dungeon crawling for treasure.
Right?
It's so pure and innocent. And this has so much level of complexity because you are all criminals. You are all running from pasts and afraid of various things. You're
And you
in
can
a
totally have that
dystopian.
dynamic. You could totally have that dynamic in other game systems. It's just so built into this.
It is. Yeah.
And this world is conducive to that in a way that other games I don't feel like necessarily are.
Right, right. Interesting. All right, so that happened in this episode.
Rio solidified his position as the, you know, like the voice of reason in this group.
The dad.
The dad. I am the dad with the dad. And I actually was very happy to not for that to start happening because I know I very much didn't want to be the leader, and we talked about this that at the SDCC, the session 0, if you guys saw it, at the session 0, it felt very much like she was being put in that position. And session 1, he was calling me boss, and ain't nobody needs Trigger in charge.
I did
do things as if she's in charge, but ain't nobody needs to be putting Trigger in charge.
Knowing that after you talked about it was fantastic, because going back and watching the SDCC session 0, there's the moment where Frayne says, "I know a leader when I see one," referring to Trigger, and your face was like,
yeah, no, I was like, are you seriously? Like, no, you don't. You really. And again, that thread comes back later.
Yeah.
Into the reasons for that, into the reasons for her not.
So good.
Well, there's all the reasons for that period. We'll just say that.
So one of the things we were talking about before we went live with the post show was at the end of the episode when you and Liv go into the Matrix and are peeking around for Bitbucket or for the wizard or whatever this is, and realize you can't get out.
We can't get out.
And like the fear in, like, you can feel, just like you could feel that antagonistic tension between you and Frayne, you could feel that, like, all of a sudden the stakes just rose.
Yeah, and also I think part of that came from the fact that we don't know the game that well, and we didn't understand that that's a possibility, and we didn't know so much about jacking in and out and like how you can get screwed up if you get pulled out of the Matrix physically, like manually, and all of that. Like, we sort of didn't get that. We made a whole plan where we could be able to talk to the guys. We go to the Matrix and we could talk to them and all this stuff, and oops, not an option.
Yeah.
And of course, Trigger is just going to be like, okay, well, we're stuck here. Let's go. But Anjali was like, okay, well, we're throwing out 10 pages of notes I just took. Let's figure out what we're going to do now. Let me see. Kind of like Jack said something. The Matrix had a similar appeal to Cypher betraying the team specifically. Like, yeah, there's so many things about this world that may have been spoken about in different properties, and it still always feels new.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that, because ultimately in every storytelling opportunity that you have, there are certain things that betrayal, love, desire for family, all, like there are so many things that just go across all stories.
Yep.
But yeah, that fear. Oops.
Now, what was it like for Trigger? We kind of talked about this at the very beginning, but with your feelings, but for Trigger, seeing the embodiment of all of these new friends and how they are represented in the Matrix in these archetypes that we know so well.
It's a good question how it was for Trigger, because I feel like Trigger and Anjali had somewhat the same reactions, because Anjali was much more overt about it. The reaction of like, are you fucking kidding me that this is what I get and this is what you guys get? That I think was more Trigger's thing, because she's been in these rooms before. She knows, like, she's been doing this since she was God knows how old. Like, this is not new to her. But of all the, just like Anjali does not see her this way, I don't think Trigger sees herself as the healer. That is, she's the hacker, not the healer.
Yeah.
And that form of uselessness, she also has no, like, she doesn't have a whole lot of like nurturing instinct to her like most clerics would. So I think there's a lot of like, how come you get the cool stuff? I want cool stuff. This isn't real life. I want cool stuff. I think that for Trigger too, and also just feeling like I'm useless. I need to be useful, and I'm useless. All I have are robes. Like, really?
I think it's interesting though, like what you just said about like she doesn't think of herself as the healer, but like in game and remembering back to the game as well, whenever someone was hurt, you were the first one that was like, "Can I do
I was the first person to run to Rio for the first year. Because I could see he was in trouble and he had saved my ass. The very first in session 0, he saved my life. And so that's where I feel like that connection was solidified.
Cool.
And I don't want to ruin the moment for those of you who haven't seen session 0, because there's a very cool, you actually get to see the moment when they're framed. And what happened, even that game, talk about a moment of like the rug getting pulled out from under you. There was a big moment there. Yeah. And he almost seemed, Christian is just so brilliant. It almost seemed like he had pre-planned it, because there is a moment he does something where he saves my life, and then he refers back to something he did like 45 minutes ago, and couldn't have known that was coming. Or maybe he did know something like that was coming and he had it in his back pocket. But that for Trigger is where she jumps. And then as she discovers that she has, she knows she has the ability of, I think she forgets, because Anjali sure forgets. But yeah, being useful is a thing.
Awesome. Keeping that in mind for future episodes. I want to open it up for the last few minutes here to the chat. If you have any questions about the series, Trigger, Anjali.
Any questions you've got. I'm interested in knowing what are, like, in this episode, what struck you the most, because you were there watching live. Are there things besides what we've talked about that you really took home with you?
For me, it was something that I didn't even physically realize until I was already doing it at the studio, where, I'm sitting back there and I'm kind of doing work, but listening. And then I could feel the tension in the room change whenever there was an altercation or whenever there was fear or high stakes. And before I knew it, I'd be standing right behind the tech area, just watching so I could be as close to you guys as I could to watch these moments happening. And it like just drew me forward. I didn't even realize I was standing until I was there. There were a couple times I almost walked into frame behind Jason, because I'm like, I need to get closer to this.
That is funny.
I love that. Yeah, I think that for me, for this episode, it was those last episode 3 was when we really started getting into those character interactions, and I really loved that. But I think this was the first episode I think I cried for, when I'm like, yes, they're bringing it to life, and it's what it's supposed to be.
I will say the appearance of, like, all of a sudden there's some fucking wizard like that, because I keep forgetting in the Shadowrun world that there is that fantasy element, and that dragons do exist and magic does exist. So for that to be the world that we have to go into while we're in this world, that definitely threw me for a loop. I was not prepared for that to be like, I genuinely thought the wizard was just going to be like some dude sitting in a room or sitting at a bar or whatever. I didn't think we were going to have to go play his fantasy.
I mean, shout out to Jason for that with his planning, because to be like, all right, how are we going to get Shadowrun to a streaming audience and stuff like that, who loves fantasy and loves D&D. And so like the fan service for that, but also bringing it in a way that's so cyberpunk as well.
that makes such sense.
Yeah,
it makes so much sense. And I hope Liv did too, because I feel like she's just so game, no pun intended. She's just so game to go along with stuff. I loved the getting to enjoy the fish out of water quality of like, I don't know how to play this game, wizard. I'm just gonna talk to you and see if this works.
Yep.
We don't know what we're doing. Can someone please tell us what to do? Which is kind of what Anjali was feeling. My favorite thing about Trigger is that I don't have to filter anything.
Yep.
Because I wanted to play a character like that. Very much filter anything.
And that's awesome.
Yeah, Jason is he's I'm blown away by what he did with this series. I really, really am. I am going to make a shameless plug to all of you that please use the link, the Realmsmith link, to go and look at all the good stuff on the Catalyst site, because we want a season 2. And that happens if y'all go look at stuff.
Yep.
I very much what class would I have chosen for Trigger? She would have been a thief. Make her a thief, although she's not really stealthy, I guess.
Excuse me. That came up surprisingly fast.
Yeah, she's not very stealthy, I guess, so maybe not the best for her. But I feel like that's totally what she thinks she is. She thinks of herself as.
Awesome.
What class? Yeah, what class?
Turbo Turtle has a question. Does playing RPG games help your acting?
Absolutely. 100%. You get a benefit when playing TTRPGs that rarely, I can't even, I don't remember the last time that I got to do this in a play or on camera or, any other, I mean, on camera and like television and film, not this kind of on camera, or voiceover. You get the joy of full immersion. You get the joy of, short of a LARP, you get the joy of actually being able to embody this character and make decisions for them and write their lines and say the things that you feel that they would say.
Yeah.
The closest thing that I've ever gotten to doing that are exercises in an acting class when you are building the character before you then go perform the scene.
Right.
So you are thinking to yourself, okay, what would this character's background be? If this character was making coffee, what would their physicality be? All that kind of stuff that you do in acting class, or maybe did in acting class, that after a while you maybe, if you're me, you stop doing because it just comes a little more second nature now.
Right.
But when you miss that step, you don't get to really inhabit the character the way you want to.
Yeah.
And it's just a level of collaboration and a level of involvement and a sense of agency that you have in the storytelling that is very, very, very satisfying. And what I have found is that it has reminded me, how do I put this? For many, many years as an actor, say I had to cry in a scene. Well, for many, many years as an actor, I couldn't do it. I couldn't access those emotions because I was a little afraid of them, and I was afraid if I start crying, I won't be able to stop, and I don't want to like lose my mind or whatever. I don't know what I was afraid of. I was afraid of because I was depressed or whatever it was. But when I realized that you can have those feelings and move through them in life, just let them come and let them go. You don't have to ignore them. You can just move through them. When I recognized that, all of a sudden more notes, I could play more notes on this instrument. In RPGs, you get to experience that over and over and over and over again, because natural emotion rides up in a way from what you are doing and the story that you are telling and the investment in the story in a way that is not there on a page when the lines are written for you. You have to bring to it. In this, you don't have to bring anything but your true, honest, open self, being ready to play. And sometimes playing means being open to feel a little bit of pain that you will move through during the game. And your other players, again, talking about the safe space, your other players are there to support you. It is an ideal, I feel like it is the ideal way you would want a movie set or a play or a film set or anything, I mean, a TV set or anything to be.
I agree.
Level of openness and collaboration.
Yeah. My degree, to answer Turbo Turtle, my degree is in theater, film acting, and voice. I created my own major in college, and then I lived in Chicago. I was a working actor for a little bit, and I actually getting into Shadowrun. I love D&D, but getting into Shadowrun, one of the writers was in our D&D game, and when that campaign ended, he was like, "Hey, I'd like to run this game for you that I write for. It's cyberpunk fantasy," and I'm like, "That sounds stupid." And I'm a big hypocrite. That's fine.
No,
So
you learned, and you were open to change.
well, everyone, I wasn't actually, but my group was like, "Be nice." So
I'm trying
I
to
was
give you bone here.
I was in a play at the time, and when the play ended, I was like, I guess I'll care about this. So I hadn't created my character. I didn't know how to do any of the roles. I was just like, how many dice? Okay, fine. Okay, that's a lot of dice, and it's fun. That's fine. But finally, I was like, I guess I'll start caring. And as I started learning more about the world and the setting and the story he was telling and these characters, I fell in love with it. And in terms of like the helping the acting, like being able to move through and react to things in the moment without it, as you said, being written for you, it allows you to embrace the character more fully and embrace the emotions more fully rather than looking for clues within the script where it's like, well, why do they react this way?
Exactly. You don't have to plan it. You don't have to map it out. In fact, you can't map it out.
Yeah.
I have played with people who are preparing things that they want to say, or like things like that, and it never works out the way you want it to.
Yeah.
Or they want it to.
Well,
it is a lesson in trusting yourself, which actors notoriously don't do. We get in our own ways and we try to plan everything. And
trusting each other too, because your partner in a
you're absolutely
scene.
trusting each other. But I think that we've talked so much about the trusting each other.
Yeah.
But there's a part of actors who also like to we doubt ourselves, we second guess ourselves, we do all of that stuff. Luis and I always debrief after games and stuff where we talk about where do we second guess our choices, all of that, and we keep saying like that's the actor side of me. That's the actor side of me.
Yeah.
And being able to exercise that muscle that says no matter what happens, it's right for the story.
Right.
No matter what happens, that muscle is so necessary as an actor on camera when you're reacting to real things, on stage when you're reacting to real things in the moment, and trusting that is still good.
And the improv element of yes anding, it gives you such good practice for that, to be able to, you might even within the realm of an RPG, it's there's certain rules that you can or can't follow and things like that. But at a certain point too, like there's times in even this series where someone asks a question like, do this for me, and the answer is like, well, there's reasons that can't happen or whatever, and then like the actor goes, no, do this. I saw that with Frenchie a little bit when Rio was like, that's not how you treat your friends, and he's like, great, I've wet my pants and I am ready to embrace what you just said. Like,
thank you. I want to point out, I want to go backtrack a little bit because Jason said something here in the chat, and I'm not sure if people watch this later that they will read the chat. So he said, behind the screen insight, I chose cleric because Trigger is beholden to a higher power, the Matrix, and has a reluctant sage healer calling. Her power comes from harnessing an unseen force that she has a direct connection to. Well, look at you, you evil genius. Had I only known that, I would have given in to it. Not true. I just wanted Trigger to look hot. No, I'm just kidding. But that makes such good sense too, because so much of what she is she is not what she wants to be. And we've already heard her say very similar things to that, so that's not a spoiler. Thomas, you're absolutely right. I would not have. She definitely would not work for a paladin because she is not lawful good in any way, shape, or form. That is not her thing. Oh goodness, it's already 8.
It is. So we're gonna have to wrap up here. So anything else you want to say about tonight's episode, about the series, about what's
watch it and use the link to go to Catalyst Game Labs and look at things so that we can have season 2. That's what I want to say about it. But also, again, please, I know we've said this a lot, but take care of yourselves and each other at the table, because it's not fun if something hurts. And I know that sounds like so obvious, but the more you can give into a story, the more fun it can be. And you can't give into a story when it's not a safe space.
And we have more goodness, and we're just halfway through the campaign. We have 8 episodes. This was episode 4. There's more drama, more intrigue, more mystery, more reveals.
Before the stream here, both of us were like, "Ooh, is the next episode when this? Oh wow! And is that episode when this? Wait, which episode is it when that happens?" So there's a lot of fun stuff.
Yep. So don't miss. We'll be right back on Realmsmith's YouTube channel next week. And Jason and I were texting behind the scenes tonight, and he's going to be appearing on the commentary next week as well. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk a little bit about, now that we're halfway through, how are we feeling? How's it going? So tune in next week.
I hope you're feeling like $1 gazillion because you're killing it.
Yes, you are. And thank you for everything. I think I've said thank you more in the past 2 months than I have in my entire life. But tune in. And in the meantime, head on over to store.catalystgamelabs.com. Use the promo code Realmsmith15. I said that wrong at the beginning of the stream. So it's Realmsmith15 to get your 15% off, and show Catalyst that this series is turning into
making you buy
sweatshirts and game books, and letting you experience the world of Shadowrun yourselves.
You too you can be a hoodie ninja.
That's how you get more of this. So tune in. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Anjali. Thank you all for joining. And until next time, stay safe in the shadows.